It's Squeaky and Ruston, that's exactly what. Beautiful little underhand ball. Does the oh, wow, Liquid's here. I didn't realize it was so close. Please excuse me for this one. This is a three-way that's in effect now.
Oh, no,
Nade through the door. Do the rest of ends have any idea whatsoever that they're on the side? Surely they do now. Absolutely. Molly in as well. That'll spread on the floor if he gets it within the door. Aggro push coming out of Team Liquid on the opposing side. Squeaky will finally be finished off. The Penguins know they've got a lot of work to do here. Actually been done from four different ways now. TSM have got involved in this one. This is just a massacre. We thought coming out of Georgia Pole would be where all the fighting goes down, but unfortunately not. It's on the opposing side of the bloody map. Tempest will fall. 16 players for them. Rather unexpected, to be honest with you. One good nade on top of that garage would have been just the end of the Nuclear Penguins. Digger is just sat in a toilet, asking for some toilet roll, but unfortunately I think he's going to be fed the 7.62 from Ibiza instead. Vex removed from play for all but a moment, so that quietens TSM. Maybe now they can get in this one, pull themselves back together and take control of this compound. We said Liquid didn't mind taking a fight if they had to, Lauren. Well, this is the time to be doing it.
Yeah, because Omakan's getting interested. I just saw Gemty starting to appear on that minimap, and he is right behind some of those Liquid players, so they know Diggory might be here. You can see the nades being put towards it. New circle about to hit. Yeah, you can see why they're fighting for it. And now Liquid might be in a spot of bother. I want to see what Gemty's up to. He's managed to get himself around the back, probably getting information, but does he want to go alone? Paige is about to join him as Jeems clears out the bathroom, and they've claimed a bit of a building for themselves. But while all this happened, Omakan are hot on their heels. They've not let this go without a bit of attention being paid. Now for the Nuclear Penguins, just down to 2. This compound, it's holdable, but you're going to have a constant battle on your hands. And also party people died in the process. So I'm sad.
Yeah, it's always sad. Oh, I'll tell you what. The Penguins could now be sad from a beat. Oh, through the smoke. If he gets 2, that would be great. Where's his teammate, though? Oh, he wasn't with him. Thought he might be able to make something happen here. Now, with the smoke and with him actually, with the noise, this would be a good chance and a good opportunity to maybe jump down. He may have just been seen out the window. He may have just been seen. That would be unlucky if so, coming up the stairs. Using the sound of the smoke, he does escape this, I think. But really, when you're a Lone Ranger like this, there aren't too many places you can go. Yeah, Liquid is still looking around for him, so he gets out of this one, that's fine.
The door open, really nice. Just opening that door is going to give enough paranoia with the smoke there for them to have to clear that and him to be able to use that to get away. So probably the best plan. You aren't going to fight that out. You might get 1, but at this point, maybe trying to stay alive might be better. Again, it's always, you know, dealer's choice, but we're going to look at the other teams. Tornado Energy getting quite close towards Omakan on their route as well. And Omakan, not a pretty run in the car, but it's got them to the destination they need. And this fight towards the north, look at it. So you do have the Wildcats taking down one of their own. I don't know what's happened there. That's a little unfortunate. Yeah. Itchy trigger finger, who knows? Game Frame, the last one alive. Excuse me, Tico, the last one alive for Game Frame. In a bit of a fight against Redline, and Redline, well, you know, Michael came to chat and he was like, look, it wasn't my fault. The smoke wasn't there. All right, the smoke was there. Don't worry about it. This time, does get found. Michael traded on, but he doesn't get flushed, so the revive comes out. No one's going to be able to capitalize on that yet. WP too busy with IW to be able to kind of make anything out of this, so they have to hold off. Now, who's still standing in that central position? Liquid. I wonder how good they're looking for late game. That's yet to be seen, but Northern Lights, really nice position too. Micah there with potential. Having a decent position. Not ideal, though, as the Wildcats have vision. And the smoke's going to be put down, and you've got to hope that these give them a little bit of respite, maybe to get a res in, maybe get a reposition, but still, you're now seeing Redline paying attention. It's gone from bad to worse.
Potential does have an eye line into this one, especially with the 8 times. Can try and get something done. Levent onto the back, and seeing Game Frame earlier on, only with 3 players, I now understand why they weren't the first ones to the circle. You'll always go a little bit more passive, so you're always at the blunt end of the stick. Circle does shift. Tornado Energy, who've only just turned up to this position, by the way, are now in a very, very solidified spot. It is, you know, a little bit precarious on certain sides, given that there's no real hard cover to play off the back of. Something like Team Liquid will be on a plateau themselves, so they'll kind of stay their foot for now, maybe wait for everyone like Northern Lights on the eastern side to come to them and work their way through. pick them up on arrival and take them down before they move. For Liquid, they might just stay there, and I think that'd be the best play. Same goes for Omekan. Controlling the only real decent compound in this circle. Yes, you do have Stalber in play, but we are looking for a very, very, very strict hard shift to be able to bring that into play. Set, hoping for dear life none of these bullets hit him. You can just hear it's raining down, and the mud's just taking the rough side of it at the moment. Hyruzen with the meds gets it off. Go carefully, don't go near the blue. Very, very weak. They're up.
I love what I'm seeing from Na'Vi, by the way. Like, if you look at the way the map's playing out and the way the teams are playing out and kind of having understanding, Na'Vi putting most of their pressure towards the northern side, expecting that push. The funny thing is they actually might not get it, because look how many players are on the northeast side here. They can't actually transfer away from each other. It's wild. Look at this. You've got the Wildcats, Unity, WP, TSM, Redline, all north of Stalber. This is a huge route to run. This is going to be brutal, because then you play in the likes of Liquid, Northern Lights, Tornado Energy. This is going to be a bloodbath in the northeast. This is not going to be fun at all for some of these teams. They're going to be struggling beyond belief. Now, Northern Lights do have to consider their own route in. Sure, that's definitely a problem, but not quite as bad as the others. This is one ridgeline containing 5 or more teams. I don't know how there's still 13 teams standing here.
Survivability. This is a lot more passive players, I want to say, just kind of not getting too aggro, like only taking the fights that you absolutely necessary. Like Team Liquid, for example. I've seen a few where it's, yeah, we're committed to this compound, now we've got to make it work and stick it. For others, it's just go a bit more passive, maybe play edge. The next fight that may unfold that's not on your screen is down south. FaZe versus Blaze. Didn't mean to make it rhyme, but whatever. It kind of works. Itzy does have Rip dead to rights if he wants to move. Hyruzen out in the blue, and that's because Unity's run's just been a bit bad all the way still in Kameshki having a wander about. Danamon will be closer. TSM's an interesting one, just off the backside of Stalber on the Plateau Road that runs flush. You do have opportunities to kind of lay down and lay low and obscure yourself from vision. Get out of the way of people. It works, and that's why they're specifically holding it. That's backed up by the rocks that are there that'll provide you hard cover from Stalber. Should teams want to just run into an engagement, you can camp it and wait for them to come. This is another big fight that's going to unfold for me. Oh, wait, hang on a minute. Liquid have pushed. Every time I say Liquid probably will or shouldn't do something, they just prove me wrong completely. I'm going off the back of what I've seen from them so far. Liquid have been playing a rather more aggro game, and thus far, it's paying off. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing. They know Tornado Energy was here. They've taken this ridgeline for themselves. How many's left from Tornado Energy? Maybe 2?
We wanted to see this, but what you don't want to see if you're a FaZe fan is Apocalypse finding Uber almost for free. No trade available. FaZe a little bit, dumbfounded by the blue moving in. They're in trouble, and Blaze is going to make it hurt. FaZe may be caught off guard here, and then a mistake has opened up a big opportunity. The nades have done the work towards Rip from 8C, but Marv just found Nixie as well. That's way up towards the north, so north and south battling it out here, but FaZe have just suffered immeasurable casualties. Liquid now losing out on Mexi too. This mad aggression, this crazy playstyle, I love it. I want more of that. Fight these fights, why not? Now Liquid flexing a little, trying to control the area they're in, and, well, for a good reason. Keep in mind, this new circle, they have to go that way. Northern Lights instantly shifting behind Tornado Energy, so a bit of a clash there to look at down the line. The north side is far from resolved as well. Na'Vi, TSM looking like to hold the line here, but you can see Blaze keeping FaZe humble. Fuzzface unable to get the play from the tree you wanted, as now it's AT and Gustav to try and hold them back on this push back up.
They're extremely broken, though, on both sides of this. Casualties are in abundance. Circle will be moving soon. In fact, it is now, and it will hurt, especially when you're taking a couple of bullets here and there. You will be just open to elimination, and down they go. They get annihilated by Blaze. They keep on tanking it. Danamon, the one-man army. What in good God's name was that? 2 different members from 2 different teams? Holy hell, that was a nice quick snap. 2 points in the bag. They claim it. He does go out, but at least goes out in a very, very nice fashion. Grenades are being cycled now as Redline are coming down from Stalber, but look who's lurking. Redline are about to clash heads, butt heads, if you will, with Na'Vi on the left-hand side. They're still coming out of the west. For TSM, this could be great, but they have to clear IW first. IW is behind them on the road. Once they do that, they can turn and face and get involved with the fight that will unfold between Redline and Na'Vi. Liquid still going. They've at least got themselves back up. Also make note, while Liquid was damaged earlier on, Northern Lights got in front of them. Rather than attacking them from behind, it put them into position behind all of Tornado Energy. They're still going with 2 players. Liquid has now been damaged from the different side of the Nuclear Penguins.
Yeah, so there's 2 fights. There's 2 big bands of fights you're going to see. The north side between Na'Vi, TSM, Redline, and the Wildcats. And then you're going to have Omicron, Northern Lights, Liquid, Blaze, and the Penguins. And they're quite separated by, certain elevation. Of course, the north side here is higher ground, the south lower ground. So they're a little bit obscured from each other. You might see a couple of picks here and there, but Scooby's just trying to be, a bit of a cheeky little snake, just proning down, taking their time. Na'Vi going to draw blood towards Redline. That's Senya towards Michael. That's a bit of a peek. They've peeked over this ridgeline. That does play in Fex. Bit of a dragon, this man. 2 kills already. Definitely got some power behind him. You wanted to see him frag out before. We might have a game or 2 like that, but here comes Tab. Spots out Iroh, gets tagged, but Iroh does him back. Bit of a trade through, works favorably towards TSM until Kemba gets in, but Miraku trades, but that's towards Redline. That's not the fight they wanted. TSM's got to be careful here. They do have 2 standing, but Na'Vi do have plenty of players to make the play from. Let's see what Fex is up to in this as well. He's further ahead of Miraku. He can be the one to engage and pressure those very sensitive points towards Na'Vi, who already got a player knocked, and the push is coming in. They want this one, and Fex is the one leading the way. The smoke wall is up. Na'Vi deploying everything they have to buy a couple of seconds. And Miraku, brilliant off angle, a little deeper, but Besto even further away, making sure no one pushes for free. But Fex could still undo this. It's going to be Kemba first, but can he find Tab? That's the next big question. Does he see him in the smoke? No, it's going to be a shot to the side, and tears through him. TSM down in 7th. We're down to 6 teams.
Empty. Molly towards the smoke. Actually might have hit Besto. He did. He accidentally walked back into it. That's a little bit rather unfortunate. Now leaves Tab on his own to hold the line and maybe get his teammates up, which he does. Senya, blue on the back. Got to get that med as quickly as humanly possible. Ibby onto Batulans as well, so the nade's out. This is still a long-winded battle that's been going on between Northern Lights and Team Liquid. To get that final play, it's going to be a beautiful place to sit. The Wildcats, okay. Rupture. Can you get this shot? It would be formidable. Unfortunately not. Senya does hold, and again, that's just backed up by the AUG. The accuracy of it, the kick that it holds, the level 3 gear that he's going to control as well. Oh, but what am I seeing? What am I seeing? Okay, that's a bit weird, but whatever. Jumps into the back of the vehicle, travels with him, and kills 2 individual players? All right. Yep. Welcome to PCS. All right.
It's interesting. Okay, these 5 teams, 14 players, a lot of broken rosters down to 2 here and there, down to 3. So you're looking at Omicron 4 alive. They held that big plateau, that big compound, just towards the west side of this, but of course they've pushed out since and they're being proactive. But as a Liquid, and Liquid have taken so many fights and they've still managed 3 alive. Very impressive. Big condition for them to do well late game is keeping as many players up as possible, and I wonder what their gear's like. Surely it's in a bad way, but we'll find out soon. Blaze out of nowhere finding some frags here. They took down the entirety of FaZe. Why not find some more? It's definitely garnered the attention of Omicron. Now looking towards the south, Lazar and Apocalypse better be on red alert, because you got Paige, T-Bone working across this ridge, and as soon as they crest it, they're going to see one. No helm on lifts in. It's a little deadly here. If one of those shots hit, that's a big bit of DPS coming through.
4 players up as well and controlling a good 50% of the map. This looks really good for Omicron, but given the topography, there are many different angles they need to be aware of. While they may have the manpower and they may have the map control, the different angles are going to be the one that's the downfall of them. Vasco going out to keep an eye on Team Liquid, but unfortunately 1 versus 3 will be deadly at the best of times. If he goes down now, he's not in any place to be revived. I understand his ideology of just being up here and checking to make sure no one comes down and fights within the northern reaches. Even if he does spot out Team Liquid, then runs back to his teammates, he can feed that information down. Sparrow going down gives Liquid another point of entry. Batulans already has a grenade where he'll throw in a no helmet as well. I'd assume that this will be his last stand.
I love Vascu's position here, Rich. Look at that. Look what that does for the team, for Omicron. They can focus on staying as that 3, and you're pressuring Northern Lights, maybe Liquid. But Vascu can maybe keep that northern side safe, but he is very disconnected. It's risky. You're putting a lot of faith in this man, and he's got to play that just right. That balance of aggression, map control, and ensuring that they don't get pinched from the north or flanked. So again, a lot of weight on this man's shoulders, but it is keeping Liquid humble. They can't utilize that area anymore. Ibby and Teamswork, it looks like they were considering it. They might be fed into the same scenario the Northern Lights are currently in. Keep in mind with the steal, nice bit of work from him. But better work overall, I'd say, from Omicron. Their positioning is exemplary in this, but they could get distracted. Let's look at who we have. 3 teams remaining. The big team, the kind of kings of the hill right now, are going to be Omicron. Now, Liquid, scrappy underdogs somehow in this game, something I don't normally have to say about them, but they've been taking every fight, crazy fights that don't necessarily favor them. Blaze, the kind of king killers, they took down FaZe, they took their crown, they've been deadly, they've been a nuisance, a threat. Liquid holding on to the very smallest pieces of cover, trying to create their own with some of these vehicles that they've gathered, put up the smokes and buy a second, maybe try and force Blaze and Omicron to have a fight, but it looks like they're not sure of that, as already Apocalypse just found Jeems.
Vascu is the problem. Jempsy feeding info back to him. If he wants to go a little bit deeper into this circle, if he has a good nade onto Liquid, that'll be the end of them. The moment it's just feed all this information back, understand what Blaze is shooting into, read the map and read the signs. You don't have to push this. You can stay back as a team and wait for the circle. Jempty more central than anybody else. But by Blaze shooting into Liquid as well, that gives up valuable information. You want to be hiding that. You want to be staying put. You want to be keeping Omicron guessing to where you are. Now they're forced to move, and they don't have as much control as what they did previously. This puts in the domino game, right? Once one team falls, you then just flood into the next. They'll come flushing down, and they'll all fall at the same time. It's
man, if you're Omicron, yeah, which fight do you take? I guess technically for better positioning, you're going to want to fight Liquid. But can you do that without being open to Blaze? If you fight Blaze, you're open to Liquid and you're in a less than optimal position. And having someone like Jempty in the position it's in is massive. I don't think Liquid have spotted that. So I wonder how they're going to fight this out. Are they going to 2-2 split it? That's risky to me. Which is there a right way? I don't know here. I'm a bit stumped as to how they want to do this, but it looks like maybe focusing on Blaze. Bear in mind, Blaze aren't that close to the circle, so there is that too. But I'm remembering, and I'm going to keep my mind towards the fact of Jempty's reposition. That, again, could be critical here. And this is a big IGL moment for Omicron. If they can keep this clean and make, the right calls, very good sign.
It's unfortunate that Jempty doesn't have any nades. If he did to be able to throw one Liquid's way, that'd be huge, especially with them being all laid down. Cook it and time it perfectly.
Ooh, trying
to get the run to the trees. They did catch him earlier on, but this time they won't know. Jimbo will try and stay T-Bone in his position, but the smokes will be there. Gives him something to run through. Let's not forget where Jempty is just in conjunction where Team Liquid are. Once he steps up, it's actually Vascu to get the initial spot. If he finds a second frag as well, this will be just enormous. And a real springboard here for Omicron. With one of them down, there's opportunities to get stuck into this, but same goes for Blaze Esports. They may just hold back. Jimbo cycling the nades, one may go out, and if it hits Jempty, this really equals things up. Jimbo's helmet's gone, although he is back on his feet. He is weakened. Look at T-Bone. T-Bone keeps control of Blaze, or at least tries to. Jempty and Vascu, they just dismember Liquid. They're using all the utility that they can. God, Jempty's actually now turned them face. That's amazing. 2-tapping 2 people. All right, that's it for me. That's a go sign.
It's not without answer though. A little bit of a fight back there, and Blaze have gone down. That was pretty much the game plan for Liquid. They weren't going to beat the likes of Omicron, really, in my mind, but they can at least do a good attempt to fight for second. Jeems, let's see what you got. In the blue, going to try and make a good attempt. Can he get the flush? No, goes down a little too early for it, but a very well-handled fireman moments from Omicron. Not overtaking fights, not overly peaking or overly pushing, controlling the area. And I highlighted earlier, that Jempty position, it was something that I was keeping my eyes on because it could have been the downfall of Omicron, but if played right, it could control Blaze. It could then even play really well towards Liquid if they had to. Really, really well handled by Omicron. Good calls, good calm, approach that final circle. So I've got to say, though, Liquid managing to get, top 3 a couple of times here. This isn't bad work and a lot of kills to boot as well.
Yeah, consistency will pay off. It gives you the points for the placement and being able to just combine them. We did say we don't want just to win with 2 or 3 frags. We want to be seeing 7, 8, 9, 10 kills to go with it, which is going to jump you up those leaderboards. Yeah. I mean, nothing else can really be said about Jempty's double kill at the end there, just back-to-back tapping people with that Silence Mark 14 to be able to do it's a damn good job. it was a difficult scenario. Which fight do you take first? But being able to split the resources and work together as a unit, take down two teams simultaneously, but more importantly, keep control. That was the thing. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't panic stations and everyone falling apart. It was definitely controlled and a really, really damn solid win coming out of Omakon.
Yeah, good signs for Omakon. Remember, those guys have had tournaments where they've run away with it at like day one. These guys are definitely someone to keep your eyes on. They haven't been really, catching our eye until this game, but it's the first look at Erangel, and if it's anything to go by, they're a team to keep your eyes on going forward. I'm sure the desk will have a lot to say about that one. Let's head over there.
All right, let's talk about that game. Omakon comes out on top. Jempty sort of clutches it up with this really beautiful 2-tap. And I think for me, Leza sits there and wallows in his regret as he just runs out of bullets. Because he had a second where I think he could have turned that around, Martin.
Yeah, I think so too. But also, like, Omakon coming into this, 7 kills. I was hoping for a little bit more. It's kind of a home turf circle for them, considering they're looting Yasnaya. So I was actually hoping for a little bit more, but I think that's also why they went so aggressive in the end, trying to get as many kills, because they knew they had the control. They knew they were putting on a lot of pressure. Some crazy moments though. I love these Stalber kind of esque endings. It's too good. I just love to see how people there repositioning, and you have so much elevation that you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it red line there. Sometimes when the map is at this part and it's like this little bit of cover, you got to do these beefcake pushes, which we see them, 4 guys at once coming over the top of the hill, Toby. Team Liquid gets 2. Second place, they get, what is that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kills, and almost pull it off. And I think, honestly, they probably would have got third if it wasn't for that, if that Jempty hadn't hit that double.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tall order for them to have to make a play in the end. And to be fair, I mean, they did a smart move in not doing anything. They were literally proning next to their vehicles for the better part of 1.5 minutes in the end game. 1.5 minutes in the end game is a damn long time. And they were trying to just be as anonymous as they possibly could. And it kind of worked out for them. I mean, they don't get the win, no, but they still, they get themselves one more placement point. And as you can see here, they had nowhere to go. They knew as soon as we stand up, we get shot at. So might as well just prone it out and try and see how long we can stall it for. Because if things go our way, which they did, Blaze will die, or either Blaze or Omakon will be forced to take a fight with one another before the end of it. So smart decision in not going aggressive where other teams would have.
Take a look at the match leaderboard as we continue to talk about it, but you're right, they burnt through a lot of utility, surviving fight after fight, as you pointed out when we were chatting about it earlier. And at the end of the day, they just laid there. And yes, when Blaze opened fire and got that first knock, it attracted every bullet in Omakon's guns and ultimately got Liquid a placement point. So sometimes you just got to lay low and let it go. Omakon comes out with 17 total points, 15 for Liquid off the back of that one. Blaze gets a nice 10, Northern Lights with 8, and on down from there. TSM, Martin, again, not a great placement, but every time they seem to be putting a minimum of 6 kills up on the board.
Yeah, I said it earlier as well. Like you if you want to win tournaments, it's not on your chicken dinners. It's on your non-chicken dinners, your mediocre games, your bad games. And they seem to be fragging out. They're whatever they've been doing has been paying off, and it's looking good for them to get this many kills. Yes, 1 placement point, but 6 kills to boot. It's looking very good. Team's 5 kills though. Nice to see that amount.
Yeah, I mean, you got to feel good. I think you got 5 of 9 of the kills on your team going your way.
Oh, yeah.
Good to see Jeem on form right now. Fex, Senya, Jempty, and Marv all on there. Jempty, we actually saw him get 2 of those 3 at the same time. Let's take a look at overall damage leaders, Toby.
And I think this goes to show, I mean, when you look at the kill numbers and you compare the damage, they were doing way more damage than what they were getting kills for. And I think Simsi actually pointed out pretty well, they were taking control. They were saying, we might not get those kills, but by the fact that we're shooting at everything we can from those warehouses right now means that we will get into late game. They were doing so much damage that no one dared to fight them because they knew if we start fighting a team, if anyone crashes us, that's going to be a magnet for everyone else to start fighting here too. We won't get the kills, at least we'll get top 3 guaranteed, and then we can get a win with it as well. That's just even better.
Well, 3 games guaranteed in the books, 2 more to go, and we'll get back to those in just a second or two. We got a 2-minute break coming up, and when we get back, we'll talk codes and we'll talk chicken dinners. Don't go anywhere. See you soon.
Get excited, PUBG esports fans, because the Pick'em Challenge is back again, and just in time for the PUBG Continental Series 1. the 2020 PUBG Esports Tournament to crown the grand champions of each region. First introduced during last year's PUBG Global Championship, the Pick'em Challenge rewards players with exclusive items for correctly guessing which teams will win. The Pick'em Challenge has changed a bit since last year, so here's a quick breakdown of the event. You'll find the Pick'em Challenge in the updated Esports tab, along with PCS1 player info, team stats, and real-time tournament information. Our 2 Pick'em Challenge games are in each region's tab, where you'll have a chance to predict the winning team or the better result between rival teams. Predicting the winning team is the Pick'em Challenge's main game, where you use your voting coupons to guess the grand champion of each region. You can earn a total of 6 of these coupons by purchasing celebratory items for PCS1. You'll also be able to earn one for free by watching the tournament. Each region where you successfully guess the grand champion will net you 100,000 esports points, which is enough to buy a good chunk of the PCS1 items in the esports shop. The second game, and Pick'em Challenge Newcomer, is open for everyone to play, regardless of how many voting coupons you have. For this game, we'll pit 2 rival teams against each other for you to vote on. Earn your points by successfully predicting which of the rival teams in each region ranks higher. You'll get 2,000 points for each team you successfully predict, so use that to supplement your upcoming big win, or start saving for the PCS1 items you want the most. The PCS1 Pick'em Challenge will run from June 17th to July 2nd for PC fans, and from June 23rd to July 2nd for fans on console, with the special PCS1 items available in the esports shop from July 7th to July 22nd. All esports teams participating in the tournament, including from APAC, Asia, Europe, and North America, can be voted on, and the more you play the Pick'em Challenge, the more chances you have to collect exclusive PUBG Continental Series 1 rewards. Keep an eye out for the final tournament schedule, and we'll see you and your favorite PUBG Pro teams on the battlegrounds.
What better time than now to go ahead and do it? Let's get the code up. Launch PUBG, click on the Esports tab and select Pick'em Challenge. Click on Add Event Code and then enter your code and click Redeem. Free voting coupons will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis and are limited to 1 per account. I will also point out it is not just for this region. Every region of play is giving away the coupon. So basically Thursday through Sunday, this weekend and next, it is a PUBG Palooza. And you need to be watching and getting those codes redeemed for the sweet rewards. It's right below me. Don't miss your opportunity. Guys, I will say the skins, particularly for guessing winners, are absolutely gorgeous and nice in game. So you want to try to get those esports points as quickly as you can. That said, let's get over to standings to see how these players are putting their version of esport points up on the board. TSM moves into first place. Kind of what we talked about, Martin. They are consistent on the games in which they aren't winning, in addition to still winning.
Yeah, and they're fragging out. Like it's crazy to see how they've been able to step up. I like to see this aggression here. We were asking for it. Toby was asking for it, and this is honestly what wins you tournaments. On the other hand, I gotta say though, I played with Exvolution from With Potential a few ranked games before we started here PCS today, and he promised me 10 kills on him alone, and they're sitting on 2 points. So I gotta say he's gotta step up here in the last 2 games if he's getting anywhere close up to that promise.
What do you take away from this board, Toby?
I want to say I'm not too surprised with how things are looking right now. Tornado probably being my only surprise. But then again, I mean, Tornado is the team that I never expect to go out day one, game one, wrecking everything. I know they have their 15-plus kill wins in them, and they're going to come eventually. It's just a matter of time. But for the other teams down here, I mean, to me, this just shows. I mean, we kind of back with it's the same top teams at the top again. It's Martin's top 5 or big 5, what he wants to call them now, with Omar and joining them up there too. If this is the way, normally it's the bottom teams that abuse the early days, and then the top teams, when it gets settled, they come back. If the top teams already get ahead now, that's gonna make it even harder, in my opinion, for some of the lesser established teams.
I just want to throw a quick reminder out there: the picks that everybody chose at the start of the day. Toby picked Tempest, and Martin, you picked Tornado Energy. Oh, no. Tornado Energy for Toby, and then Martin, you picked Tempest, right?
Yeah, but Tempest only plays good on days where they can play 3 Miramars in a day, apparently. So they're sitting down there in the 11.
They're waiting for the desert to show up. That said, that's the thing about predictions, though. It's hard to guess, and sometimes people just have an off day in PUBG. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. And I would not write off either of those teams who have high upsides in terms of being able to put up quick points. But let's go to two people who have a massive upside. It is our casters for game number 4 today. It is the Sims and Pansy.
Is he having a bit of a problem, Rich, do you think?
He's moving to that stage where we go through a competition. I call it the James stage. We get to the latter ends and weird things just start coming out of the mouth, with fish and chips, bangers and mash. I don't know what else to go with. But I've got to say, I never knew Steve could go that high. I'm actually quite impressed by it. I will give that one. I think if I had a go, I'd probably maybe make it there potentially, but also sound appalling while doing so. I'll let him go with it. I reckon he's had voice training, so he can pull it off. We'll roll on with that one.
Oh dear. Yeah, so a little bit of a different playing path. We've had some very interesting ones. I mean, of course, Georgia Poll not going to be rife with teams this time, is it? Southeast, east, kind of that slice across the map. Going to be very clear in that regard. And, well, FaZe. If there's ever a time to be smiling, this would be it. What a circle for them. They get to really springboard, no one on their backs. They can just play it how they want to. I like this. Could be a fun one if you're a FaZe fan. We got to see what they could do. Na'Vi back to more of a normal spot. They don't have any pesky teams harassing them, at least for now. But that north side, that kind of road around kind of school, Rozhok, a little busy. So we'll see if anyone gets punished off the back of that.
Let's sit here and talk about this circle for a little bit then. On your screen, you can just have a look. I like this because it gives you a good... something like this really quickly before we do the circle. This gives you the idea of what we like to call loot rotations, where people individually go. It's okay saying, yeah, we just route, Yasnaya. Everyone has their own road. Everyone has their own set of compounds. Everyone has a certain amount of times they'll have a dictated path and things like give you the idea of where people like to go and how they like to do it. I mean, there is Ibby Stack in Pachinko, and it's known for that for good reason. It's not only within the game of the esports side of it, but if you ever play matchmaking, you see one player drop in there. Actually, funny enough, look where he is. That little quadrant over there, Ibby Snack, then 9 times out of 10, it's going to be him. Lurking in the midst. But this circle, FaZe Clan, all right. Let's be real. To get mill to power and something in surrounding areas, it's not the easiest thing in the world. All the cards have to go your way. They have to be right when we look towards how the circle works. It moves away from water. So you need either to be a lot of water in play at the start, which we've got, and that continues onwards, or we're going to be getting a hard shift after Circle 4. So 5 or 6 will just jump towards mill to power. For someone like FaZe Clan, it's how do they prepare for this one? How do they set up? It is slightly landlocked in the fact that you have 2 struts of their area that pushes out from where Uber is further down, further on the fields, towards the backside, where you'll see like these little aerial towers that stick up, these pylons that look over the cliffs towards Novo. Further afield to the backside, and again, the cliffs of mill to power. You can push forward, and then you can play the bottom side of the wood mill. You can play all that hillside. There is the log cabins down low. You can play that and watch it, and you can wait to see if the circle comes towards you. If it does not and moves more towards the northwest, you then have options to run. You can either take the road up to Lepovka, blast it through Milta itself, actually go down to the city, but then you got to be aware of the garages, the garage compounds, the folding field sides of it. Or you can actually play it up to the lumber mill itself. But again, when you're coming in late to a circle like this, you would expect a team to already exploit the lumber mill and set themselves up shop in there. It's going to be a really strong position on this one. We'll see how the circles unfold and how these teams like to rotate off the back of this. For now, expect not too many teams, in my opinion, to filter merely towards mill to power itself. They'll be in a position where they can access it, sure, but you don't want to go getting yourself stuck in there and then the circle being more towards the northwest, because then you're in as much trouble as what Page is, as he just goes out of the server as our first player in Game 4 in a ball of smoke.
It's a quick leaving. Oh, Alia just going full turtle. Nah. There was a second where he was hoping for that little tilt. No, didn't happen. Didn't happen.
This is fine.
I want to see how FaZe play this, because honestly, I swear, I've not seen FaZe actually in this position when we've had these circles. They always, like, dropped off at Zaki or something ridiculous. It's very rare I actually get to see them on home turf with a game like this, and a potential bridge camp paying off Orange. Oh, just about making it past. Melman just about staying alive. Orange. Oh. The car hit you.
Oh, that's disappointing, but funny. Oh, thank you, observers. Oh, no, please. Yep. Did we get it? Oh, it rolled on him.
It's beautiful. It's
I
something
love
you don't get to
PUBG.
see every day. You know, most esports, I'm there, like, you know, super serious. No, I'm not. But even more than that, like, I get to thoroughly enjoy a car just smack. Easy. Alright, one's enough for a game. Let's not double down here.
Wait until we get the new update, Lauren, and people are just strapping C4s to these and just doing full-blown breaches.
Oh, God.
Dropping C4s from the air, from the gliders. This is just going to make the game wacky. Do it. No, people are going to hate me now for saying that.
Yeah, why have you done that?
Just gliding past one of the building's main apartments. Just drop a C4 on it. There you go. Yeet. Take that. I've yet to see it done, actually. No one's clipped it yet, so if you have, show me. I bet it looks amazing to see. Just dropping it out of a glider and arming it.
I
You
love
know
the
me,
fact this
I'm game for
genuinely
anything that's
excites you.
madness.
I know. Oh, hold on.
I love this
Speed
game.
of it. Look at this pull up. Look at this pull up. They're so close by. Liquid
no.
are dead. Surely they are dead in the water here. I don't see a way out of it. Nice little fight back here and there, but that's literally just Iro gone. Everyone else is still alive for TSM, and obviously Liquid's down to, I think, just Ibby here. Maybe making a mad dash for it, and yeah, all the flash is going to come through. A little too close on the pull-up towards Lumber, and TSM had already claimed that. So Ibby, time to get out,
Can't hit a
but
tree.
you've lost so much.
That's it. Go gentle. You can even see towards the end, he's like, don't hit the tree. Don't hit the tree. And he kind of bump, and that would be Liquid finished off in 16th position. That's rather unfortunate. I'm actually going to say I think that's poor scouting work out of Team Liquid. Yeah, it's a little bit uncanny for TSM to be taking this position. The Harry Potter side of it, when you have all the rest of it to play with. Ooh, mark 14 and 15 times. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit weird to be playing that side of it. You'd expect them more to be in the actual wooden shacks themselves. But still, just to go dive bomb it into Lumbermill when it's central position on the map. No. That's spelling disaster in my opinion.
Alright, Melman on the move. This is Tornado Energy just kind of playing the edge, very south side of Milta, kind of by Milta Power, of course, by the cliffs at the very bottom. I'm actually surprised. Obviously, Liquid losing out on 4 is unfortunate for them, but I'm surprised there's this many teams okay here. I mean, looking at the map, it is filled with teams around that Stalbay Hill. It is chock-a-block. Now, teams playing edge game are going to be very chill. Na'Vi have got no one really to worry about for a while. Yeah, Red Line. Okay, they're quite close by. But, I mean, look at that pack. Look how centralized this is. People firmly believing that this is the best place to stake your claim. And, well, we'll see if it pays off. Northern Lights could go for Lipovka. You've got Ents kind of on the crossroads towards the east side of the prison. You've got the Wildcats. The west, you've got Blaze. And then Lumberyard. My word. It's just filled with teams. So, surprising we still have 16 standing. I honestly thought we might have lost one here if someone made a mistake. But these teams aren't making mistakes. They're being smart, calculated, and pretty careful.
And honestly, Liquid's probably just going... It's a ballsy play to do that. That's really been the most risky play I've seen thus far through the 4 games that we've had. I like the fact they're getting a bit more aggressive. We've stayed it down and we've kind of seen it come into full effect and actually pay off, to be honest with you, taking a fight when you need to rather than just sitting back and questioning yourself and double thinking about it. But yeah, at least Ibby's still alive. That is a saving grace. How much further he can go on his own is a different question altogether, especially when you've got 3 teams that are magnetizing still in and around that area. The Wildcats, they'll just peacock ends away. Try and keep them back for now from this one compound that they are scouting out. Whether or not Squeaky does pull in on the backside of different... Yeah, maybe... we're watching the map. Squeaky may have just gone for a pull-up on the backside of the building. But BSD shut that one down instantly. He's got a very different angle to all this and stood up on the rock face. That gives him much more avenues to be able to shoot into this fight, and by doing so, it does just brush them away. It's not the best compound in the world with this circle, so I won't really say Ents have to take it. I mean, Wildcats will have to move soon. It's up by prison. It's on the outskirts of the circle. If it's good to them and just, hard shifts that way, then fair play. But we've seen too many times, Laurent, too many times that farm comes into play. Yeah, it's a little bit out of the central side of the circle, but in and around these areas, especially from that main road that runs down the backside of it, there's still opportunities for it to hard shift this way. Thankfully, like the shark fin edge of the road that goes across to Military Island, the actual bridge road itself does play a factor and benefactor into this. Pushes them back from Milta Bay. FaZe Clan notably are actually in Milta as well, by the way. They're going into the city centre, and that gives them more of a hop, skip, and a jump into the central side of the circle, wherever that may be. Omakan Shelter, Blaze, in and around the same position where Wookie Bookie actually got them into this competition, funnily enough. And yeah, TSM Tempest still close by. Tornado Energy are getting closer. And you can see now every time we hop on board with someone from Ensloran that they're just scouting. I think they're just struggling to find a place to call home. And this comes off the back of being a little bit, has he thinks it's empty. And it's not.
Yeah, not great. Oh, Tixer goes down, but it does relay the information to Ents, I guess. Silver lining that you're looking for there. Most of the teams opting to say east of the main road. Obviously, shelter side in comparison to farm side. So let's see if it actually pays off for them. It's a pretty treacherous cross. Otherwise, Wookiee's going to be picked up, I think, with no worries. I don't know if Ibby's going to go for that. He was being very passive. The Lumberjack just chilling out. He's gone for it. All right, this could be a nice little pickup. That's a couple of points available if he wants to try and capitalize. Go for the flush. He's not flushing, so the problems now begin because Pixel's on the way, Toil's on the way. And there we go. 2 points in the bag for Ibby. Tomil, leave him alone. Let him go back down to his pile of wood.
It's all right to be able to do that from maybe picking up 2 points. It's better than what most teams we've seen. I say most teams, that's the wrong word. We've quite a few teams where they're down at the bottom, they just die for no reason. They get nothing on kills, nothing on placement. He knows he's up against it. Any team that rolls up with more than 2 players, he's dead instantly. The trade, the refrag, it's confirmation of his placement down in 16th. So you might as well do what you can, and I respect the 2 kills out of that. Pull a Mexi. Go on, pull a Mexi and win the damn thing on your own. Why the hell not? GF. Quick rotate between red line. The survivors on the opposing side that can feed in some info. Any weakened cars that go by might actually feel the full force, but instead it's the deep. So these boys are going to be transitioning into the warm, welcoming hands of the Northern Lights. The deep will pick up Techers. Tico at least full HP for now. Skirt the liquid compound itself. Again, trying to find a home here, and you can see, I love this parallel play. Northern Lights, you can see on that circle, are just tracking GF. And they're going to walk straight into the trap. The trap is set up for Perfected to meet them at Heaven. When they land at Heaven, that's, in theory, where they will be dying. The deep reconnects. Gimme Perfected's POV. They're all turning up. The trap, the communication, the coordination to set this one up perfectly. They've tracked them and boxed them in, sent them into a bottleneck. And now they can just finish them off on arrival.
Northern Lights running through the utility now. GF in a bad place here. Old Tico. I've seen him before, and it's Uber to find Ibby. He did at least get 2 points on the way down, so he tried to get something out of it at least. Not obviously ideal, it's not what you'd want, but it's something, and Tico's being just hunted down. Any would have been good, but gets none. And we are down to 14 teams. Game frame down and Liquid down. But Liquid sitting in second. And obviously it's early days, but they're up. I mean, we asked for the big teams to wake up. You've got TSM, Liquid, Na'Vi, FaZe in your top 4 spots. So it's there. Now FaZe getting into the fight. This is a lot of teams around them. So as soon as you first start one fight, you're going to get all the attention of everyone else. So it's a very dangerous and precarious position to be in that you really can't take for granted. So they need to be very aware of how they want to approach this.
Circle slowly closing in. See where we go from here. Being slowly but surely moved away from Milta, more towards the northern extremities of this circle. Blaze in a centralized position. That's going to be the Harry Potter, if memory serves me correctly. That's next to the prison. FaZe Clan could have a bit of a fun time. Yes, there's only 2 players of Tempest still standing, but in a 2-2 split, it will be an even man's game. Ghostface and ITZY have to deal with 4 players on the side of TSM, so FaZe Clan could be broken apart here from 2 different angles if they're not careful. And you would assume that they have to advance forward. You could fall back and skirt the edges of Lumber Mill. And then you have to fight Tornado Energy. If you decide to go past Shelter and take the garage compounds, you got to fight Unity. It's going to be a hard one on the side of FaZe Clan. Maybe TSM leaves them alone and advances more towards the circle. Centralizes up almost perfectly. Okay, so they've regrouped. They'll square up against Tempest. I mean, thankfully, it's the lesser of 2 evils, right? They don't realize this, but there are 2 players. They're in like a V formation, though, and the kind of funnel between that old winding river. There's like a dried-up riverbed, so they will be exposed if they advance forward. That's the only problem for FaZe Clan. The saving grace is that all 4 of them are alive, and they do have vehicles that just want to smash into one of these Harry Potters and take them down.
Let's see how they go about this, because there's a fine balance they have to achieve. They don't want to be too late to get too caught up by Unity or someone like TSM or Na'Vi or anyone like that. So they want to get that timing right. But obviously, it's a little rough to try and just work into this. The cover is super, super well defined there. So going to be a little hard for them to make it work, but let's see what they do. Tornado Energy going to make their move. They're moving up towards the south point of prison, the kind of overlooking piece. TSM somewhat following suit. Just to keep you up to date with that, we do still have Redline, Na'Vi, WP very close by, but they're not in immediate danger now, as Ivers does seem to have found a bit of cover. Tornado Energy were below TSM on that southern side. If you can see where Miraku is just on that mini-map, they were just below that, so a nice little jump up for them, but it's definitely got the attention of a couple of these teams. But Unity is now getting very close towards FaZe as well, so the south is about to explode, Rich. You're going to see a lot of these fights happening pretty soon. You got to look towards Set. Has he seen this? I feel like he might have. I don't know if he was close enough to see over the ridgeline or what the call was. Miraku. What? That was
Yeah.
That was with an SLR?
Yeah. Yeah, he's...
How are you clicking that fast, mate? What?
Oh, gamer
I didn't
reactions.
know I had full auto, but fair enough. I mean, nice to know there's a secret mode that he's found. FaZe have kind of taken their time. They've seen Unity on the move. They're going to maybe try and springboard off the back of that potential threat, but you can't help but look towards the west now. Even though they are somewhat safe, Na'Vi probably unhappy where they are. They're going to work towards Shelter. VOD's flushed example. We all see the Penguins and the Wildcats clashing on the east side of prison here. Now, this fight is never clear, and it's never easy because these divots, these little ridges. But apparently, Zorf and Scooby make it clean. These guys just completely sweep out the Wildcats. FaZe has found Unity, and they're putting them through their paces.
Gustav has just collateraled all, well, 3 players, not all of them. AT picks up 1 as well, but a huge performance from him will keep FaZe Clan tanking away, not only on the leaderboards when it comes to frags, but now they can turn and face towards Tempest. We said before they had to pick their fight. TSM did disconnect from that one, and they backed off. Now they can focus. Tommel and Pixel in 2 different towers. Good amount of defensive line set up, but it's, do they find them individually? There's only so far you can go from this one. And unfortunately for Pixel, he can't really do much. He is upwind of this and uphill. And eventually we'll have to fight TSM. TSM coming from a downhill position will have a perfect view into his building. That's the only... I mean, the Harry Potters can be really good. But it's the only problem is that when you have a hill behind you, you're just in a straight line. Nade, posted. It's in the back room. It goes to the wrong side. Another one follow-up, though, will confirm it. Yep, it's in. It's posted. Bye-bye. Tempest, 12th position. And you can already tell from these teams they know exactly where you're going to be hiding. There's no room for error whatsoever with the grenade like that going into the back room. And once again, FaZe just seem to be getting tracked by TSM. This is once again a second point where they'll be finding one another. And Fuzzface and ITZY have fallen simultaneously from 2 different teams. Now V have got a shoeing on this at one hell of a distance. That's over by Shelter. Tap firing away from this angle? All right. That's cruel. That is absolutely cruel. Gustav is struggling to even get a heal off. He hits him through the smoke. Tab, you beast. I don't even know what else way to describe you. Na'Vi in themselves, from individual performances, can just be outstanding. They're shot from certain ridiculous angles is just phenomenal. And FaZe Clan, from being up, from being alive, from being kicking, is just ripped from the server by 2 different angles. TSM and Na'Vi go to town on them, and they will continue the fight. But Na'Vi, they've had some damage themselves. Heeman's down for WP. Kemba will have to stick the res onto Na'Vi, and that'll hold them for all but a moment. Redline is lingering in the distance, though. This shelter area, time and time again, we see teams just encroaching towards one another, unfortunately getting squished, either underground or overground. It's rather open up top, unless you've got vehicles. It's a good option to evacuate the scenario from Na'Vi.
I mean, it does kind of go from being a shelter to more being like, a mausoleum, a bit of a tomb for some of these players, and we'll see who's the one to make it out. For now, it looks like Na'Vi have disconnected, disengaged, trying to get away. They don't want any more of that. Redline finding a good couple of kills still. They're keeping Omikun on their toes. T-Bone, of course, losing his life to that. But how do they get away from this situation? They can play that north side of shelter, but that could be Northern Lights seeing them. But Northern Lights are preoccupied. They're trying to catch Ents on their approach. Oma can lose their final player. Vazku, Redline going to get that too. Nice work from Michael. Now, Northern Lights and Ents in a similar scenario on the northern portion of the roadside. You think of where the north is cut. At the moment, it's tricky to hold that. You've got to full send, and that's what they're doing. Full send it in, try and find somewhere safe. If they get it, they go. There's not much more to be had here, and they found a bit of a plateau in the form of that dirt road. That'll do right now. That's the best we're going to get.
That's all you need, just a bit of space. Squeaky can pull a nade off here. It would be phenomenal. Players still hanging by the place that did hold them in for qualification. This time round, hopefully they're in a better scenario. It doesn't look like it with... Oh, did he go in the bottom one? Oh, did it hit the wall? I don't know what he was aiming for, whether we were going to go top or bottom. He actually didn't hit either. That's rather unfortunate. Now you can get it in the top room. That's going to hit and a splash damage straight into him. Initial damage plus the tick over time. That should knock him instantly. He is out of the fire for now, so should be able to survive this one, but it comes down to apocalypse by the vehicle. And unfortunately, that is the downside of laying down. Yes, you are hiding and you are hidden away, and you're taking less damage, actually, from grenades when you lay down these days. But if you turn to the left or right, your gun instantly pulls away. There's nothing you can do. There is no response. Zorf onto Ira. SLR doing the damage. Michael might be able to get into the back lines of Northern Lights here if they are not careful and not aware of what's going on. The Northern Lights are so fixated onto Ents, maybe trying to get them while they're in a weaker position. Northern Lights also might be feeling the full wrath of that. Is it in? It's not. It was cooked to perfection, though. That would have been through the bars. That would have been a beautiful little grenade. The second one also doesn't follow, and now the part that we said could happen is happening. Red line's here. They're cleaning up. Bit of damage and a steal as well. And just if it wasn't enough teams in the mix, Lauren, just magnetizing towards his position. Tornado Energy's here as well.
Yeah, everyone's piling in. There's no safety here, right? It's that open side of the hill. There's that one dirt road that kind of leads through it. There's a little bit of tree cover. 8 teams being able to stay alive in this is pretty impressive. Nice shots from Vard. Not going to find the final one he needs, but definitely going to keep the old Penguins a little humbled. A little bit of a repeat there from one of them, but still enough time to get the heal off, get the smokes down, and try and stave off the wolves of the door. Zorf being one of them, Nate to hand, but you're going to see Tab now. Under pressure, 3 players his way. No helmet really to speak of, and there he goes. One done, but it's Senya to find TSM out of nowhere. Huge pickup from him, but they're losing out now, Na'Vi. They've lost out on the big bulk of their numbers. The other side, Tab was holding their back safe. That's now vulnerable. It's open, and the Penguins are looking hungry. Vicious little creatures, these lot. Out to instantly find blood towards Na'Vi. Kemba's there, Senya's there, but can they hold off?
That is the question, and we shall see. Maybe not. Quick body shot coming out of Hellscream with a 2-tap on the SLR. Zorf also from a different angle. They collateral Na'Vi, send him out in 7th position. Moving over to a POV of Heeman. WP, eyes on the prize when it comes to Redline. And again, all these teams just fixating on fight, so it's time to make use of that. Take the opportunity to jump into those fights when they're not looking and maybe punch them in the back lines. Ents also still down in this one. Down but not out. Quizzy's holding him at gunpoint, just on the hillside. They can't really remove themselves from this position, otherwise they get shot walking upside the hill. That is the downfall of this, unless they get the hard shift, which it would be hella lucky if so. Or, you know, maybe Tornado Energy just fixate onto Redline. Give him enough time to get out of that and jump forward. For Ents, you can't really take that fight against Tornado Energy without a big knock. One knock gets someone on the res, it leaves one man standing to hold the fort. Then you push on to red line. Use the low ground that you're on and kind of skirt around. Maybe if red line aren't looking, you get away with it. It's a very tricky situation. It's a very nasty situation to be in for Ents. They may even just wait it out and everyone else can go away and leave them alone, but you would anticipate that they go down next after this one. Ivers just doing the dance, whatever he can, avoiding every single bullet. He's getting shot 6th place from Sunday. No chance. Absolutely no chance. Look at all the vehicles. Look at all the body boxes, to be honest with you. You spoke about a tomb earlier on. That is just a kill box.
This is fucking gonna happen. One team is currently in the new circle. Everyone else is on the outskirts here. This is such a horrible fight. Those minis being put through their paces. Even with the 4 times, Quizzy struggling to make them to find the target that they'd want. Quick smoke in. Trying to forge a path forward. You're going to have Quizzy, Alia all doing the run, but both teams looking their way. Ents looking up towards it. You've got the Penguins looking towards it. And sadly, Tornado Energy stuck in the middle. And Zorf going to get off the heel as he tries to work away from the blue. It's going to be a little close, but he should be okay to get that off and then start running. Diggory to flush Melman. And again, this is all piling in, but it looks like WP have vision towards the old Penguins, so it's not without a little bit of pressure coming their way too. And they had 4 alive. They were a big contender towards late game. How did they die before Tornado Energy is the thing I want to know.
That's you know what? I've just been kind of looking at the... I'm so glad you said that, Lauren. I've been looking at the map and trying to figure out how they've survived them out. I don't know. I'm disappointed that Tornado Energy have actually let Ents get away from this one, but hell, you know, we've no idea what actually goes on in the back lines, and when players fall, it just becomes rather unfortunate. There is a Mac 14 on the side of Ents, and there is an M24 on the side of WP. All right, still a DMR, but it's a couple of big, nasty, long-range guns. Will they come into effect? Oh, no. Do they know how close he is? Rustamar, do you have the information? Laying down in the grass here, Alia, with the barrel at this range, would still get the job done, but he doesn't have the info. He's just sitting down for now. He'll be forced to move with the blue. Rustamar's job is to simply sit here, make sure no one from Tornado rolls down that hill and causes them a bad day. Next is, your job is to just get any kind of knock. Take Rustamar out. And allow the rest of your team to push up and attack Ents full force. You've got enough players to do the damage here. Even a couple of knocks on your side, you can lose that, right? It's a betting game. He's actually damaged. So has he hit him through the smoke? Imagine. Because Alia definitely hasn't shot. That's for sure. Now he has. Now he's been seen.
Yeah. Okay, we're down to 2. What do we have here? So, WP, 4 alive. Ents with 3. Oh, Nixies!
That's
Perfect
the one.
shot. There it is. Money shot comes out, and you got Diggory and Squeaky like, well, our chances were slim. And now, they are terrible. Nades to hand, vehicles everywhere. It's about to get explosive for Ents. Flashes going back. It's a war of attrition, and right now, WP have a little bit more longevity, holding the ridgeline, keeping Ents constantly under pressure, never feeling safe. Look at Diggory looking for any sort of angle. He might have found one potential target, but that's exactly what's going to happen. The second you step out and try and find a pick here, you're going to get fire coming in on all directions. And now just Squeak Dance. Going to have to do some heavy lifting, some big Squeaky-esque work. The man's a bit of a legend, but a 1v4, now a 1v3. Is that a step too far, I feel? Ooh, hello, Squeaky, let's go. Let's go on the 1v2. Show me what you got. Surely he doesn't get another chance. You can deny all the... What?
No way does he...
Squeaky!
No way does he do this.
Squeaky,
Oh my
you're an
God.
animal. Do it, Squeaky, please. Just do it.
If he does this.
Oh my God, Micah. The nade comes out, the flush comes in. Micah's got an AK to hand. He's just on the right side. He might have the off angle. Squeaky doesn't... Oh my God, Squeaky.
Holy... Jesus, he does it. Oh, that's disgusting. What a freak. What an
How are you
actual
allowed to do that?
freak. Oh, no. Did they have 4 up? Was that 4v1?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no. He did it to him. Oh. Oh, that's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I need to go outside for some fresh air. That was absolute filth. We're going to head over to the panel. Enjoy that one, boys. What the hell just happened?
Well, that was far from squeaking by. Squeaky comes out, and that was ridiculous. Go ahead, Martin. You take this one. That was awesome.
I just want to hear the comms. Like, I don't understand Finnish, but I understand excitement when I hear it, and I'm quite sure that I've heard an excited Squeaky before, and he must have been screaming. I remember a few times where he's like, "See you later, suckers," when he stole a car and stuff like that. And he's just a funny guy. That must have been insane comms. 1v4 guys. Yeah. I've not seen that before.
That is a rare occurrence for sure.
Is the barrel overpowered, Toby, or is the Squeaky overpowered? That's my real question here.
You could argue both. The thing is, normally when I see 1v3s, 1v4s in this case, it's just really, really impressive plays. I hate to say it because I respect the good play and I love the good play coming up from a person, but I always have like the mentality of, in order for one team or one person to do something insanely well, it requires the other team to some extent mess something up. But in this 100%. Situation, in this situation, looking at the fight, looking at how the VP players were positioned coming into the fight, I don't really see a lot of what they could have done differently that could have helped them out better. Squeaky just individually took down 4 players in 1v1 trade-offs. I mean, he did it really well. He always kind of knew where the opponents were positioned. He only had 1 tree for cover. I mean, 1 tree only grants you so many angles of safety. He knew exactly where to position himself when reloading, when healing, in order to not get killed. So overall, you can't really discredit VP. It was just a damn good play from Squeaky.
It didn't even seem like he was a step ahead so much as like a second ahead, right? Like we saw them he throws a smoke, they scout, he gets the knock, they throw a grenade to where he was, he's already moved. It was just beautiful play. 8 kills for him, and I think a career highlight reel addition, if I don't miss my guess. That said, though, WP Martin, they come out with a very good game, 5, 6, 7 kills for them. That's going to be not only needed but a real confidence booster.
Yeah, I mean, I gave Exvolution a little bit of bad mouthing, and then I guess that's what they have to get to step up. Like, he got 3 kills. He promised me 10, so I'm looking forward for 7 more in the next game, and maybe a chicken dinner from them. Now, jokes aside, nice play and nice game from them all. But as Toby said, like, you can't. Yeah, I don't want to take too much away either from Squeaky, but they gave him 4 1v1s. Never at one point. They were putting themselves in a position where you can be traded, which is like the number 1 rule in team fights in any game. Always be in a position where you can be traded or play like pushes 2 that you're playing so close that it's nearly impossible. You see every time here they're off their cover, they're off trees, and they give him 1v1s all the time. And in the end, unfortunate for Mika, like he can't do too much other than take the last 1v1. But the other guys should definitely have pushed in or put him in a position where he was not like in cover, where they were out of cover, trying to get the last kill or playing aggro. That was definitely a with potential win there. But very nice to see from Menz, and very nice clutch from Squeaky. A 1v4 to take the chicken dinner. That's so rare.
In a situation where I imagine comms with potential was don't throw. It's sometimes that gets in your head, I feel like, to a certain extent. That said, though, as we look at these kill leaders, I mean, ENCE is obviously going to dominate these match stats. I think there's probably no way around that. But let's take a look at with potential as well. Toby, talk to me about this team specifically. We haven't talked about them a lot today. What sets them apart? What do they really thrive at?
No, I mean, the VP to me is a team that, I mean, a lot of the players are players that have been in the scene for a while. Some players might not, or viewers might not know the individual players too well. A lot of them, Nixties and co, have been there pretty much since I started casting, which is like way back in the very release. I mean, since all of us started casting, to be fair. So they've been there. They've just maybe not had the teammates they needed in order to really climb up to that next level. They've been in the contenders era. They've been around. They just haven't been able to bounce in. And now, where we finally open up, they've proven that by consistently practicing and like just playing, they now have what it takes to go up against the big teams. And I think a game like this proves it pretty well. They've had a tough day so far, but a good game here for them. I mean, that's going to throw them forward. I mean, both ENCE and VP were sitting in 14th and 15th respectively coming into this game. So impressive by them.
Well, we had a couple of minutes for the teams to prep for the last game of the day. So we're going to prep for that as well with a very short break. And when we come back, we'll have codes and the last match to wrap it up. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a second. We got to get those in North America. That's all I can say. Those are highly entertaining.
Fantastic.
Not too shabby. We talked a little bit about with potential before we went to the break. Martin, I want to keep going down this road and maybe talking about some teams that haven't gotten a lot of love but did well in that match. The Nuclear Penguins are another team that, we see moments of brilliance out of. What makes them stand out? What do you think works for that team, and what do they need to work on?
Well, honestly, the Nuclear Penguins is a team that has exploded in 2020. And I think I'm surprised with how far they've come and how well they've been able to perform in 2020. I think while we look at the standings here, I think it's crazy to me that they've been able to step up and be consistently in the top 10 here and perform this well. Again, they're sitting at 7th right now. I'm quite sure we'll see them, and then maybe the top 10 again for this grand finals. I think Sorf has been for me, Scooby has been for me, the two guys that have been performing extremely well throughout the recent tournaments, and especially here in the PCS.
And then we'll take a look at this overall standings. TSM still in a good spot, but it's not as dominant as Na'Vi right behind. FaZe closing the gap as well. ENCE on top. And Liquid does struggle after that last game. I'm going to blame myself for that because I trash talked a little bit about y'all's picks, and then Liquid goes out in 16th. So I think I earned that one. Oopsie daisy. Northern Lights at 26, down to TMP. I mean, it is not that differentiated of a board, with the exception of Game Frame right now. Most everybody's putting some stuff up. Game Frame has 0? That's wild, Toby.
Yeah, for a second I thought it was a mistake. No disrespect intended, but 4 games into a tournament and you haven't been able to get a single point, that's not good at all. I mean, you're pretty much scratching a whole day out of the tournament where everyone else is racking up points. That's I mean, we don't have to go into detail with it because they probably know themselves too that it's far from possible. But about as you were saying, I mean, Continue.
Well, I'll say let's just karmically vibe them. They've got one more game to go. So we're just going to give them all of our good hope and say go out there and get those kills. Because I want them to have a chance when they come back tomorrow, you know? Okay, you continue what you were saying. Sure. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, to be fair, I mean, off of that game frame, they get yourself a top 5 placement with a win, and you probably won't even be sitting in last place coming into tomorrow, because there has been a lot of less than mediocre performances overall in the day. I mean, Tempest, we talked about a team that can go lights out sometimes. They can win 3 games in a row. They haven't really done anything today. Ents coming into this game, Squeaky had as many kills in that last game as Ents have been able to put up overall as a team in the first 3 games, right? So overall, there has been a lot of inconsistencies for many of the teams playing, and I think that goes to show. I mean, we're at a level now where the top is not the separate 2 or 3 teams anymore, like it might be in other regions. It's a top 16, which is everyone can go out and perform, and that makes it so much more important that you manage to stay consistent in the games that aren't your wins.
Everyone can perform, but the big 5 seem to be big. Which one of them will you pick? If you get an extra coupon, you can pick more than one, so get that code down below you. Head into the game right now, hit the esports tab, and enter the code for your chance to get your hands on a coupon so that you can vote for a winner and get some of those esports points. Remember, entries are limited and only 1 per account, so once you win, sit back and enjoy the rest of the show. But you gotta try. Get in there, get it in the client. That said, it is time for these teams to try, particularly Game Frame, to put some more points on the board. It's the last game of the day in the PUBG Continental Series Europe weekend day 1. Let's do this thing, and we'll send it over to the map for Pansy and The Sims.
You got the intro this time. You got The Sims. That's very nice. Thank you. You know, we had to deal with Kalaris just saying our names in a normal way. It was disappointing, but something that's not going to be disappointing, as highlighted by Toffees, the final game of the day. Let's end it on a high note here. It's starting in the southwest, heading up northeast. Everyone can get their play, maybe a backup spot or 2. I'm thinking FaZe might have to adjust here, but everyone else can maybe make their spots. We'll see what people go for. Rich, what's your big look that you're coming in here for? What are your eyes going towards? What do you want to see out of this?
Oh, I mean, for me, it's just another strong form. Strong performances from certain teams. For those who have struggled at the start of the day, maybe make things up with a high placement. It's all about not letting things slip away, not letting losses get the better of you and slip away from you, run away from you. Then you get down. You spoke about at the very start of the day, Lauren. Some of these teams, they perform best when they're kind of against their absolute worst times, right? We get to those final matches like, oh, you're not gonna qualify if you don't win this. Everything's on this game. It's all eyes on this, and then they go and blow it out of the water and they win it. It's like sealed with a kiss, done. Everything. What a way to win it by 20, 30 points, whatever. Not just scraping through. Don't get to that point. Don't come to next weekend's game and have one team at the top with 100 points and you're down at the bottom with 10. We don't want that. We want some consistency throughout this weekend. We want all, even from a spectator point of view, from a cast, from everyone's point of view, when it comes to PUBG sports, we want these teams as evenly populated on that leaderboard as possible. Because then when we get down to the final championship Sunday in 3 days' time, or 3 batch days' time, we have the best possible scenario ever where anybody can win it on any given Sunday, quite literally. That would be for me, that would be the perfect bit of icing on the cake. Get to that point where everyone has a chance of winning it and no one's so far out they can't even make it to top 3.
It's shaping up to be the good factor. It's shaping up to potentially be what we wanted to see. Go on. Oh, yes. Outstanding driving by Wookie. Not with a Bolt, but with a Dacia. Dacia. I've just shown that I am indeed from the south and say things in a terrible, terrible accent. But centralized circle, a little bit of a touch towards the melee base. No one's over there though. No looting on that side. We do see Tornado Energy and Tempest very close by. Desk highlighted Tempest, one of the teams we want to see a bit more from. Currently, where are they? 15th. I had to go quite far down the board for that. I didn't expect it. And yes, certainly a very valid point. And losing out on someone like Clib early on would be very unfortunate.
Game frame, Tempest, Blaze, to be fair, all the way up to Tornado Energy. Everyone below 10th position now, including 10th, needs a decent game. Time to just round it up. Remember, I should have rounded out. We don't have a 6-match, which I'm honestly quite happy about because we're getting quite hard to cast towards the end of them. There are a few times like, oh, what else do I say? What else do I say? So even for these players, fatigue won't play a factor when we get to that game number 6, as much as I actually didn't think it would. It definitely does. Clip, wandering about, and again, been able to keep him alive and keep all the team alive to the past at least Circle 1 will be certainly beneficial. I'm assuming with so much slow, precarious moving, he does know that Tornado Energy is here, for sure. And same goes on the opposing side. Although, they may not have the full info of where he is located, because they're pressuring the building. They're going for it. If they just run in willy-nilly, then they don't know. They absolutely... Oh, no, he went early.
Clib.
He went early.
Clib. No, have you made an error? Yes, you have. Example, insta-punish. They seemed cautious that someone could be close by. I don't think they knew exactly where he was, but they seemed aware there could be a chance. And now Tunnel's left in no man's land. He came over to support poor old Clib, and now he's going to be put in a similar scenario. Oh, dearie me, Tempest. I was hoping this could be a glimmer of recovery for you, but this could be a 2-man loss if you're not cautious. Tunnel, though, with superior gear than what Clib had. 3 vest, 2 helmet, M24, Scar. He's got a decent amount to play with. Yeah, it ain't the barrel, though, so who knows. TSM, kind of central on this, honestly, between kind of Potato Hill and the more southern side here with this compound. Iro showing off his driving skills. Man can parallel park, I'm sure. Gonna be in a good spot. They can play this out well. Liquid not far off, east side of Pachinki. They seem to lean this way when these circles come in. Good choice. Let's look who's outside of the circle. Northern Lights, FaZe, GF, and WP. Some of Unity too. So these are the players that have to work their way in. Na'Vi can take their time. They're going to be, slow and steady. Someone who's not is FaZe. Hot on the heels of Tempest, excuse me, from the Penguin. Bye. Gustav might be
Beep him.
lost if
He's
already
driving
the
me,
teammates close
beeping him. He just runs off his
Fuzz,
fucking
could you be a
beeps
little
him
bit
again.
more careful when you pull up next to Gustav like that? He just Tokyo drifts next to him. I mean, you're fine, but I get a little nervous. I get a little nervous.
The fun signs of PUBG. That's the one thing I will say about this game. It's not all continuously serious. We do see some funny stuff happening. We see some banging shots. We see some banging plays. I mean, that...
He went flying. Massive yeet.
Yeah. I mean, I still, that's why I had to check with you in that last match. Was it 4 versus 1? I couldn't tell if Diggory had actually knocked the guy uphill, but to see a 4v1 in PUBG... it's very, very rare, and it's very, very occasional. To be a 4v1 that clutches it for the final team and wins is just something astronomical. And to see that firsthand of what is essentially a major performance, with the teams that are in here, you got the best in Europe, that shouldn't happen. That should never happen. And it did. And that's just a combination of, 1, how freaking good Squeaky is, and 2, how strong, of a better word, the barrel is. It's going to be something that we see for a while.
Account mistakes from the other team too. Not as experienced as others in those final moments. Again, the one big benefit of playing, in a 4v1 is that Squeaky was in one angle, and eventually you can split yourself to a degree enough where there's no safety left. If it, as said, you can't just stay behind that piece of cover when they take away that territory, but peeking one by one opens up that opportunity. Now, most players won't be able to capitalize on that. That's the brilliance in my mind that Squeak had, that he was able to punish that sort of mistake. That's why you want someone like Squeaky in that scenario. So, and obviously with a barrel, definitely helps. So again, I think it was a big combination of a couple of factors, but taking nothing away from Squeaky. Really, please. Phenomenal play. So far, so good, though. 2 losses coming into this, player-wise, down to 62. But otherwise, I think, again, this is going to be a lot of posturing. If it keeps going central, we're going to have quite a calm game until the end couple of circles. It can accommodate a great deal towards that central area. And my mind instantly goes to the play up on that radio tower. It was example, I think. It was maybe someone from Tornado Energy who was up there. And you just don't see those positions. These circles that came through are very unique. Northern Lights on the Millie Island. Maybe using it as a rotation point to come around the Eastern Bridge if they fancy. And also just staying safe for that first circle or two.
Anticipate that's exactly what's going to happen. Have to be aware of FaZe Clan looking this way if they go towards the beach and take a quick peek. Farmland's looking really good at the moment. Anywhere between FaZe, Tornado Energy, Omicron, hell, Liquid of a lesser extent. See where Circle goes and how this one's all going to play out. Ooh, that becomes a little bit more interesting because the farm itself, in its entirety, is open. FaZe could make a big old beeline for that. We'll see if there is a fight. FaZe will also come across... Oh, look at this. They're going at the same time. Okay, the bridge. Are they just going to be just that moment too late to catch? Yes, they are, especially now they've stalled ever so slightly on the beaches. So they'll hold for now, and I wouldn't expect to find unless they turn into Milter by accident. Farm has actually been overtaken by the Nuclear Penguins, and that's because they were playing the garage compounds on the field sides. There is a little decent compound that FaZe Clan can work off of, which gives you access to those fields. Once you get off of the bridge, it overlooks the backside of Milter, so they can play that. There's a couple of them with level 2-story buildings. You've got a decent hill and ridgeline that Uber can play from. If they have to go deeper into the circle, that ridgeline that he's on extends further around the cornfield, so they can just go through the fields and actually meet that up there. QBE, no time, no rest at all. Instantly knocked and flushed. Ends. Big old pull-up. Look at all these magic cars from Harry Potter. Unfortunately, it won't be magical in any way, shape, or form for Ents. They are getting destroyed. 4 turn up, 3 turn out. That's rather unfortunate because Omicron's on the other side as well. From 0 to 0, they go out in 16th. And
Every
yet there's
time. It
another
always seems to
team
happen.
here, Lauren. We've got 3 teams fighting all for this one. We've already bloody lost one of them. That's aggressive from Tommel.
It's perfect. He's costing them their lives. He got a knock on one earlier. I don't know if he got the flush, but he got the flush on Page. He just played that so well, not too close to the door. Played it right on the nade timing. Tommel's putting up a really nice performance here. Molly to buy some time on the stairs to get maybe a little bit of a boost off, maybe nade out the window, whatever he wants to do. Look at this play from Tommel. An individual powerhouse of a player, and this buys time to allow the playback in of some of the other teams to be able to turn their attention. Gemty's on his knees. He can't do much, and that's quelled T-Bone. Now, the next big threat is the fact he's got more players coming his way. He can't outdo it this time. Bit of a 1-for-1 trade out. But of course, for Tornado Energy, they have the 4 players there, so the res will be perfectly fine. And the clash of EU's finest, you could argue here. Liquid and FaZe. What a fight this could be. And Northern Lights, well, they want in on the action too. Fire comes in from the back, so now Fuzzface has to be cautious. That window not feeling so safe. Can't just linger out, lean out, and hope for the best. It's barrel time, boys. Fuzzface knows it's time to get up close and personal here because he might be in danger. 80 can support him, but that's even better. Batulins from miles away catching off Ibby is going to pretty cool off. No, T-Bone. No, T-Bone. No.
I mean, the smoke's not only hide him, it's merely to hide his footsteps, but if Pex gets that nade through the correct window, if Vard can actually throw it through the window, it would certainly help a little bit more. All 3 players in. Here comes the breach. We shall see. Ira, what else have you got in the tank? Can you throw one on the opposing side just to make sure of it? With T-Bone putting all these smokes down, it hides him in every shape, way possible, both vision and from a hearing side of things. The audible cue will put him outside of the window. Oh my god, it worked. Oh my god, it actually frigging worked. It didn't get the flush, so the smoke there could actually help them out. James pushed in. It looks like he's been knocked also by the side of FaZe Clan. He has indeed. Ibby is back on his feet at least, or was it K-Man and got knocked? Doesn't matter because there's still 3 upstanding. Might not be the same when it comes towards Tico, though. Last man for his team, rather unfortunately, as Orange and Set do go to town on the rest of them. He opts in to get... There he is. He's just dying out to the blue. He says, no, can't do anything here.
Another
Would rather
0
avoid
point
giving
game?
3 points to it. Yeah, that's a bit
Wait,
rough.
FaZe
What are you doing, boys? Oh,
Into the ocean ended all. What are they up to?
I mean, they can
I
play
don't
the embankment
know.
in all creditation to them, Lauren. They can play the embankment and maybe bait them into Gustav. If one of them's got, well, he's got an SLR, there's a good scope on there.
Nah.
They're actually safe, in my opinion.
I mean, when you're prone down in the tiniest bit of land available, I don't think safe's the right word for it. I think that if they stood up and tried to make a run towards Gustav or someone, they'd be found by Northern Lights. I mean, there's no easy option. I think that's a fair assessment because you're probably going to have Liquid pushing you. But yeah, I guess what else are you going to do, right? What's the other game plan? Look at the way the circle's playing out. So initially, the previous circle was basically 50% playable because it wasn't the O'Milly, and then you have that line of water, and then obviously that's 50% of the previous circle. And most of the teams were sitting in that southern band, around farm. So this is going to be such a chaotic matchup. Pixel in all kinds of danger. The last remainder for Tempest. He lost so many players early on. Trying to get a quick flush. Does get it going through. And the man was a bit of a barrel expert at the start of this, but everyone's catching up. Northern Lights want to show him how it's done as well. Spyro there, raring to go. Deep with the nade. Doesn't make it anywhere near far enough as Pixel can fall back. And look at Liquid on the move. They're heading right towards Batulins, maybe scouting out that the rest of Northern Lights moved on, and Batulins is getting out of there. He's not going to stick around for this. If he can make it out fast enough, he will do so. On the road, away we go. Firing squad is there. You can see all those shots coming in. Batulins is in a real spot of bother. Bit of a ditch to keep him alive for now, but can he make it out? You've got the tire gone. He's struggling on this, but desperate to get back to his teammates, to his buddies, and Batulins. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
I'm looking hot. Every single compound. A team within. Pixel laid down pro, hoping that he can do something. There is a possibility that both these players actually get stuck through the doorway. The first one goes in. Oh, that is nice. That is a beautiful cheeky bait to jump the doorway then over peek it. That is disgusting. All right, Spyro. Bit of wizardry going on. Big fan of that. Na'Vi, they take the 3 stack. It'll give them a bit of viewership towards the players on the back lines of Tornado Energy. But with Quizzy and Alia holding the garage, this becomes extremely hard to move. It's not quite center of the circle. The farm head of it is. This dirt track compound set will be the grave, unfortunately, for quite a few people. Hyruzen and Set Unity are still out in the blue, rather unfortunately, and they will be met by WP. If not, maybe Michael just decides to get involved in it. Circle, bit of a standard one for us, where we always see that long, flat road up top towards the northern side. A couple of Harry Potters, a couple of shacks that come into play. WP don't want none of it, and I'm kind of okay with it. Oh, maybe they're just going to stop at there's like 2 hillsides that go into 2 flat bits, like stairwell, so they might just stay there now on the steps. And if they do, that's fine. TSM won't be able to see them because they can lay down and just hide themselves from vision. Alia has seen a foot. Not going to get it out of Besto this time round. Come through the window. He's clearly burning, so that must have come through the window from the rest of his team, right? Oh, Quizzy. He read it like a book and listened to him.
Tabs straight in there. He doesn't care. And now Kemba was disconnected from the rest of the bunch. He was on the southern side. He's now joined up with the rest of the squads there. Of course, Alia, not a superior angle than Kemba's going to get. Now, Ibby's in a fight with Blaze, so that's somewhere else on the map currently. We'll catch up to where that is once this has been resolved. Because the example of Melman have yet to really get into this fight. They were disconnected from the other 2, a little bit deeper down on the other hillside, on the other building that's just on the opposite side of this to Na'Vi.
Brief pause on this main fight, but it doesn't look like the train's stopping up top. Redline WP and the last person coming out of Unity, Hyruzen. Base Clan, they're still playing the Shack bit, unfortunately. Or at least 2 players are. The rest of Liquid got ahead of them. Maybe moving close towards the farm with K-Mind and Mexi holding back and hanging fire, but Gustav will be tracking them. Uber's on the main compound, back towards Milta Road, coming off of the bridge. So that battle's still it will unfold eventually, and one of those 2 teams will lose their life. Can't go just bombing it into farm at this stage. And if you take the east side of the circle, you've got 1 garage compound, which won't provide too much until later on. But again, then you're just hoping the circle comes your way. So we'll kind of see how this all unfolds. Michael actually gets folded upon himself. Miku with the barrel. Job done on that side of it. Instant flush, but there is a response. Miku will probably go down here. Quick tap fire on the minute. Solidifies the point. Now look onwards and try and find more evolution. That is 16. I was seeing with the 3 times. Potentially. SLR and a 4 is much better. Pushes Ivers back and he hits him in the head as well. Smacks him for 80. That'll force him into a healing position. Marv's bleeding at the wayside, so there's no... Carry on.
Look at this pull up. Hold on. Let's see if he can do anything about this. He already got a kill earlier. I think he's on his own here, if I'm not mistaken. The rest of Liquid are on the other compound. They haven't pulled up... Wait, Fuzzface, what have you done? What have you done?
Oh, no.
He's got a 1v1 now.
No. Oh, no.
What happened? Gustav isn't here yet. Gustav is behind the rest of Liquid, who are pulling up to help out Ibby. The molly's burning 82, I'm pretty sure. Oh god, this is a huge, huge problem. It's a disaster for FaZe. What an absolute blunder. As Gustav's a mile away, he's just watched his team fall apart at the seams. Ibby couldn't have been gifted a better opportunity. Well played, cool, calm, and collected under pressure. Ibby's controlled the compound. Gustav might be able to undo some of this progress.
That's the... Oh, he's been smashed pretty heavily. And Liquid will understand that he's got fire coming towards... Mexi actually tanked up. They've no idea Gustav's there, surely. They were so focused on the rest of FaZe Clan. Do they know he's been slow? Oh, they do not. Well, they do now. Alarm bells are ringing, but he's heavily damaged himself. Nades around, and through the window we go. Up and over. Quick little pull of the pin. And both of them forced to heal. Rip with a Kar98 shot. Okay, this gets a little bit more intriguing. Can you get some kind of response here from FaZe Clan? We shall see. Your teammates have been asking revenges. Revenges from Fuzz faces failure. Unless he actually had to cook the nade and did go down from a different angle, but I don't believe he did. It could be completely wrong here. He could have actually cooked the nade himself and been knocked and then flushed. No, he can't because he didn't kill himself, so yeah.
No, he just got knocked. I think it was just a missed nade. Somehow it got
Must have
caught
hit
something
the bars
maybe,
or something.
Yeah. Just went
No
wrong.
helmet for Gustav,
Whatever
though,
happened,
just
not
becomes
good.
all that much more difficult.
Let's see if he can take anyone with him. Gustav's good for one. Any more is going to be a miracle. Does go down. Nice work from Mexi to not let it get too far away. FaZe fall in 10th. Liquid are going to stay alive with 3. That knock did come in earlier from the Kar98, but it's now been forgotten and long in the past, as now they've been able to get the revives in. Na'Vi on the move as well in the west. Still 4 standing for these boys. Working towards the radio tower that worked out so well, if I'm not mistaken, again, for example. Obviously not the place I want to be, but it's a place you stop, you take your scouting, you take in the information, and you build off the back, because not only do they have to deal with Blaze in front of them, but also TSM working at the same time. The Wildcats are actually in a very nice position. Oh, Fex is about to pull up right towards Apocalypse. Pre-nades coming out, Fex is there. Got to be moving in if he can. Lazar said no. Gonna keep Apocalypse safe. And well, for Fex, the nade will do the damage on towards himself.
Oh, dear. His own nade. Oh, well, can't really go too far from that. That's a beautiful little shot, actually. Senya. Instantly stalling away, though, and look at all these teams. You just see 3 on the kill feed for TSM. Being picked apart across the board here, and it's extremely difficult given the position that they're in. Liquid's also going to fold into this one rather sharpish. Have to be aware of them and see where they end up. K-Mine will fall on transition. TSM goes down. Ira also, that's them out of the competition in 9th place, or certainly this lobby for now. Lipton. Nothing you can really do about that one when you got Ibby just standing strong with inside it. Mexi has gone. Ibby's unfortunately closed the door. But let him in. There you go. Let him in.
Oh god,
Everyone's walking
upstairs,
wounded.
Rich. Oh,
they're all healing,
this
though.
Is so awkward.
I'm right in saying you can't actually jump out of those windows up top, can you? Unless it's... No, there's double windows on the back, but there's metal bars on the top, so...
Yes.
You either go out of the front windows or you go out of the main door. So there is saving grace for the players below that everyone's going to be able to see. Wait a minute. He did it. He did it. He posted it.
Signed, sealed, delivered. Oh, well, that's... We've got... It's not quite a 1G. It's actually just killing your teammate through it. Not much better, really. It's not a silver lining you're looking for. And now Apocalypse better be able to hold back some of Na'Vi, because they can see a little bit of a tasty morsel on the horizon here if they can find a way in, and this might be the way to go about it. What is going on? Wait, Kemba got the molly in. Okay, I was a little bit worried they got another team molly going, but no, it will be Na'Vi on the push-up. Blaze lose their kind of forward man. Apocalypse is gone. So now the other two feeling a little isolated, but they do at least have some hard cover to play with. For Na'Vi, they're clutching at straws. There isn't much in this area, but it's the best they're going to get in this.
Hiruzen's still alive. I had no idea. He must just be playing stupid slow and stupid passive. Now he's on the fast side of the circle, so he'll have a big old run to do. Evolution. We've actually seen a team kind of win from this position before, where they've just built the vehicles around the rock because it's center of the map. Unfortunately, it is in no man's land, though. One good grenade will solidify his fate. Navi still holding on to the vehicles. They're not taking out the tires yet. Senya might actually pay for that one. My God. He just... No. No. Like, instantly looking at a player, he just sends 3 bullets back and just bangs him out.
Poor old Blaze. They're fighting the big boys. I mean, they took down Liquid. Now they're like, all right, Na'Vi, what are you doing? They're giving it some good attempts. They're staying alive. They still have 2 alive. And very strong positioning. The Penguins, good position too. The Wildcats, good position. Na'Vi, a little open, but they still have numbers. So it's a matter of what you believe in. Do you believe in the tried and trusted method of Na'Vi, but poor map position, or do you believe in some of these younger teams coming in hungry for it? Already Besto's been lost in the process. While Tab did find Lazar, they can't do anything to capitalize on this.
And Na'Vi have got a bit of work to do. It's a nasty position where they are. Tiny bit of cover, but not much after that. Saving grace will be the trees, but honestly, how far you're up against the white, it's an awful position to be in. But it kind of speaks volumes for everybody else. I mean, hell, who would have thought that the Harry Potter Tower in No Man's Land, which Blazers took up residency in, would actually be one of the better spots in this position? Uphill will be better. Someone like the Wildcats, who've been really quiet this game thus far, they're in a nice little spot. They can work the hillside, move with a circle, come down towards WP. WP can't stand up and fight that. Otherwise, they get battered if they do so. Nuclear Penguins, eventually farm will be removed from them, and then they have to do all the work. Unity, you saw, went down in 6th position. Na'Vi, if they're not careful, given their position, might be the 5th team. Oh, that's absolutely devastating. All right, this circle. I just noticed it. All of IW now have to do all of the work. They've got 3 vehicles if you actually go grab it, which is a huge,
Oh, Rupture
huge
missed
advantage.
the lift, man. Oh,
Pre-smokes.
he's gonna be in the UAS yet. Pre-smokes, pre-nades, get in there, send it, let's go. Nade from the vehicle doesn't work out. Levin somehow falls en route, maybe getting out a little too early there, leaving She Created super isolated. And oh, the molly's excellent. Gonna make a little bit of problem here, and WP gonna try to drop himself on check. Nice work, but where's Rupture in all of this? What's he gonna do? BSD's there too, and WP looking worse for wear. Backside of the smoke though. Yaman gonna be holding this down well, out of bullets, out of time, out of luck. WP looked like they got cleared out there, but no, it looks like they just held themselves alive. But while all this happened, Na'Vi, how are they alive in this?
The gateway to heaven, look at this. Smokes galore, just denying vision to Blaze. That's the thing, as soon as they're spotted, they should be going down. They've got these tiny little gaps that they can work through, but at the moment, the wall's kind of paying off. I'm impressed by it. If they can make it over to the crate, if that nade hits, imagine. They've only got 1 vehicle left standing, which, yeah. I mean, the vehicle could blow up and cause them problems. Kemba just defending the tab, or at least trying to. It was a damn valiant effort, I'll give him that. Pre-fire. And by his sacrifice, at least can get to the crate and hide himself for now. 1 more nade, see if he can catch Evolution, but Evolution has the number written. Navi's last stand, it was decent, but they do go down in 4th.
Excellent attempt. And it's pretty put them at the top of this, if I'm honest. Looking at the points so far, they'll close out probably first spot in today's games. We'll see. I don't see if anyone else can really catch here, but the Penguins still sitting pretty with 3 up against Blaze, who are gifted position. These guys, how do they have a vest? Do they have anything? Do they have bullets left? They've had every single fight just thrown out the mid. Looks like Hellscream's had enough of this. He might just go for a bit of a send. I'm getting the vehicle ready. It looks like it might be. And again, yes, they only have 5 kills. Only, obviously, is quite a nice amount. But the amount of damage they've probably done throughout this is wild.
Evolution to just lay out the smokes, try and potentially bait Nuclear Penguins into something. He's the one that's on everyone's dinner plate at the moment. Fortunately, Circle's not been kind for him. Might be able to make it in, but everything else is open. I don't really know where you go with this one. Slow ending. Nuclear Penguins will have something to play with. But again, it's all controlled by, unfortunately, for both for Evolution and the Nuclear Penguins, Blaze controlling Harry Potter. It gives them that little bit of. I know it's only a 1 star. I know it's tiny, but it just gives them enough vision just to deny leverage over that hill. Like this embankment, nuclear penguins could really use to their advantage and maybe play off the back of it, go for a few peaks and so on and so forth. But you can't do too much, given this Harry Potter and the vision on screen, as example, that has been provided to them.
You can see them trying to use the vehicles to bait out these peaks, but Blaze are doing really well on these peaks. They haven't overly peaked too much. They've been quite cautious about it, which is obviously the smart way to do it. Having an 8 times on a mini with 300 bullets certainly helps. I think Liquid are in there, so they're going to get their loot too, which is a nice touch. Now, the run out of this, the tree, the vehicles are still with the Penguins, so you've got to feel they can make the best argument for winning out these final moments. There has to be some big shots coming back in. Hellscream's already isolated Evolution. Position noted. Time to adjust.
Vehicle's actually coming to play here. I like this. Make use of them. Build yourself a barricade. Give a defensive line and deny vision to Blaze. Even while Blaze's smokes are down, you can actually use them to your own advantage. They can't see you, you can't see them. Bogger's trying to get an aid onto Lazar. If he lands it, in fact, that's a molly. Just falls short, unfortunately. Finally.
Careful that blue. 13
Evolution
kills
spotted.
for WP.
Not bad, really, is it?
That's excellent. That's a really big performance. Now, okay, we're in a 2v2 essentially. One player knocked Bogger. Gonna slow down Lazar. Forced to leave the tower. How many points for Gryffindor will Blaze get? Absolutely none. It's the Penguins coming out on top. Only 3 kills, but securing position in those final moments as I live in a very dark cave, apparently. It's nighttime now. But a good little closeout for them. A very well kind of handled game at the end, but the brutality of the circle that kind of cut the island and the mainland in half cost so many teams their lives here.
Yeah, that was the big problem. And how open that end circle is, like, there's really nowhere else to go. It's kind of a bit boring, at least from us casting wise. It's we try and get as hype as possible and end it. And we'll never take a win from anyone like that. It was a well-deserved win. I mean, 13 kills coming out of one team that went out in third. But still, it's always quite slow, and it gets to that point where everyone's got to move, and it's basically who has the best line of sight. The smokes were to hold them to the end. It's a well thought out. At least you're picking them up dead bodies. You're saying keep them until the very end. The bittersweet, be able to build a wall and try and make it into that central area. Yeah. That's what Blaze had going, but they're up against it when they've got 3-4 players alive. They've got that little hillside. It's kind of a GG. Good job though. It's been a fun day. It's certainly been an interesting one. We can talk more about the scores either at the end of the day with the death score if we can bring them in on the morning. But yeah, fun start to what is probably going to be a very, very exciting competition, Lauren.
You bang on. I think we've just managed to work out it's going to be competitive as hell towards the top there. All the big dogs have turned up today. Now, no one's looked like a front runner, which is actually quite exciting because it's all up for grabs. Because sometimes we've seen those days where one team just flies away, and that's always fun too. But this could be a great one, I feel. This is going to be a big, big competition, and to give you more insight, more detail, more of a wrap-up as to what's happened is the boys with the brains, the analysis gang, I'm going to call them, the analysis webcam crew. Have fun.
The boys with the brains and toffees. I want to give a shout out to Martin. He just talked about the value that TNP brings and their potential to win. They come out with a chicken dinner right after that discussion. Great job. But I'm going to talk about somebody else who had an ability to win, and that is Squeaky. He is our guest to end the day today from N, since he joins us here. Welcome. Good to see you. I like the hair.
You mean lack thereof?
Guy.
Lack of the hair, yeah.
So I'm going to take the easy question, Squeaky. I want to take the easy question. Yep. I want you to tell me about that 1v4, that 4-piece you got to win the last match. Match 4. How excited were you? What was the intensity in the comms? To walk me through that moment.
First of all, we knew that they were 4-up when the situation happened, and they were pushing Dickery pretty hard with the smokes, and then Tixu called that I need to make a move to the east side more towards the shelter so I can flank them. But unfortunately, it was a bit too late, so I kind of had to sort Dickery out and then take the honest fight with them. But yeah, after that, when I got the first knock, I was like, okay, I got 1 point, I should be happy. And then I got the second one, I was like, I win this, just chill. But I was like those moments are when you ask, of course they're they are really good for you. Like I was super excited after that, like because like you don't get a lot of chances to actually do 1v4s to be fair, or 1v3s. And like of course the enemy played a little bit sloppy, so but I take the full advantage of it, so I'm happy.
Nice, Martin.
Yeah, congratulations. That was naughty. It had us all screaming. I want to ask you, like, what did you guys do from the group stage and coming into this? I know you guys are hungry for a very good placement in this one. What did you guys talk about? What did you guys plan? If you can share some, maybe leak some, like you have some thoughts on the other teams that may be giving you an advantage.
Yeah, we definitely changed stuff, so now just need to win the games. Like pretty much, it's a tournament, big tournament. Like past results were not good, so of course you need to change how do you approach the game and what decisions you do. So, yeah.
Nice. I love to hear.
That's how it is. I gotta ask you, Squeaky. I mean, in this last game in particular, it was a difficult circle for many. But you guys actually went out earlier than what I thought you would. Normally, I've seen you guys play these farm endings, and you tend to get pretty decent games going. But were you surprised that there were so many teams already down on the south side by the time that you came there? Because the way that you kind of pulled up, it seemed like you weren't expecting there to be as much of chaos as there ended up being.
Yeah, like the past, when we have played the dirt road late on north, we sometimes get fucked a lot. So, and then we get the idea that, okay, it's a snake circle maybe. Most likely there will be 2-2 split like with the north mansion and the south garage, or there will be full team south garage and maybe full team north tier 3, so we took the middle one, and of course there were so many people. I was actually pretty surprised that there was 3 teams already. So like, I don't know. Of course, like when you watch the match like now, oh, why we didn't play north like late, the dirt road and etc. etc. Like those are the decisions you have to make and you have to live with them.
Cool, thank you.
Awesome. All right, Squeaky, I appreciate you stopping by and chatting with us. Congratulations. Like you said, it's not often you get to see a really strong 3v1. You executed it amazingly well. So enjoy your time off, and we'll see you tomorrow for 5 more games. Have a good day.
Bye-bye,
Thank you, bye.
All right, that was Squeaky. That last game did not go the way that I think they would have preferred it to go for them, as you pointed out, Toby. That said, though, it's not a bad day for Ents.
No. I mean, not if you get like a 24-point game in the middle of it. But as I said, coming into that 24-point game, they had as many points in total as Squeaky racked up in kills in that game alone, right? So again, the inconsistencies are kind of there. But again, I mean, they had a decent game here and followed it with with a really good win as well. As going to keep them up there for sure.
Take a look at the highlights as they come to an end. This Team Liquid phase fight, that was something, Martin, that really, I feel like it went badly for everyone involved.
I feel like obviously there's a few mistakes here and there. Nate dropped some unfortunate timings and stuff, but it's what comes when it's hectic. When you're pulled up in a compound where you expect to be able to play out of. And this as well with potential versus the Wildcats here, a crazy pull up. I really hope to see it succeed. It was absolutely crazy to see, but you just have so many small things that will it'll prevent you from having a great game to dying. It can go anyway, and it's just those small micro decisions and small micro maybe failures that comes into play here. But overall, a great game. We saw actually Northern Lights play this out of this little dip where with potential did. If they survived maybe and had 2 or 3 guys live, I'm quite sure they would have won from there, because that bridge actually had the pleasure of playing a ranked game not so long ago. That dip and that bridge line you can play on is actually really good. You can put so much pressure on the teams coming out of the compounds on the Harry Potter.
You guys saw the overall leaderboard. We'll take a look at the kill leaders as well. I do want to give a shout out to Blaze, particularly Leza. This is the second game today that we've seen him really step up. And I mean, honestly, live up to his namesake. Like, he is using, I think he was running the barrel on both of those games. Like, he's firing it like it's a laser. He's dropping people, and he's playing very, very well. A staple for the team, as you can see by the damage. That said, though, Rip9, not to be overlooked, which I feel like Leza's been kind of overshadowing him lately. Rip has been playing very, very well.
Yeah, Rip is a player that that is able to play kind of both roles. He can go into like an offensive position and start fragging out, or he can support as well, making sure you can like get all the smokes out and like feed the information to laser. I feel like they're a very nice kind of 1-2 punch.
All right, you saw the winners of the day as well as the overall standings. No double chickens for anybody. That does mean it's pretty wide open. Pansy said no one's really run away with it, and she's absolutely right. Navi is in the lead. Congratulations, Navi, by the way, with 47 points. They passed TSM, but it is actually pretty condensed with the exception of Tempest, who I don't understand what that struggle is going on there, and Game Frame, who unfortunately, I don't know that I've ever seen a team finish the first 5 without a single point on the board. Everyone else is in contention to have a good day and be right back in this thing. Toby?
Yeah, it's been extremely close all day, and it's been really good performances followed by less than so performances for many teams, well, of course, with the exception of the ones sitting in the top. So glad to see the teams without wins being able to sit where they are. I mean, Navi, no wins today, still sitting way up in the top. That's the consistency I'm looking for. If you look at, I think one of the teams that has surprised me the most today is actually Omark, and you go, oh, but what do you mean they had a win? Exactly. They had a win, and they're sitting in 12th place after 5 games, right? They have a 17-point chicken dinner and 7 points on the other side of that. So that's scary.
So it was a bad surprise, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. They're surprising to me that off of having had a win in the first 5 games, they've only racked up 7 points the remaining 4.
Like if your dad says, hey, the pizza's here, and you get there, there's only 1 slice left. Like that's a bad surprise. Going down that pipeline.
What is there a negative word for a bad surprise? Like what's a bad surprise? Like there's a bad surprise, but is there something you can say that's, horrendous?
Is it a surprise? That's a sad prize?
A surprise? Oh my God!
Sad
No,
prize?
I want to say something. I want to say something else while we're looking at the standings, though.
Please.
Look at 14th place. It's 21 points. It's actually extremely close, guys. We're talking, a 17-point chicken dinner, 23-point chicken dinner. You'll be straight into the top 5. So it's extremely close. We don't have any mid pack. We don't have any kind of the kind of head of the pack going very far ahead. Yes, Navi is doing very well. They will be winning this tournament of the mediocre games and the non-chicken dinner games because, as Toby said, no wins, still in first.
Yeah, I think the reality is the best game we saw today was a 20-point game, and any team, except for maybe 1 or 2, even 15th place, if they put out a 20 right to start tomorrow, you're right, they're back up in that top 5 competition. Schedule for tomorrow, guys, starting at 1800, we're going to be here with Miramar, 3 rounds in the desert and then 2 rounds on the island to wrap up the first weekend of play. After that, the players have a break, which I think is a very interesting dynamic to sort of add into this competitive level. Toby, we've never really had a final that has a 6 days? I'm bad at math. A 5-day break in between games for them to sort of go back and reset.
No, it's going to be massive, especially for the, I want to say, more established teams that usually require a few games played before they really find their place in a set lobby. Teams like, and that's the scary part, right? Because the teams I want to mention are the teams that are already sitting on the top, with the exception of Nuclear Penguins. So for all the teams that maybe had the chance to go out and abuse the fact that no one really knew what was going to happen on the first day, I feel like a lot of them failed at the opportunity of doing so, with the exception of, to me, one of the best performers today in Nuclear Penguins.
Martin, let me ask you this. Normally after a tournament, people go back to scrimming within the week. Are there going to be scrims between tournament, like finals phases, or does everybody take the week off and work on themselves?
It's very different. There's not as many teams that are scrimming. We're not going to have a 16-team PCS lobby. They've already scrimmed enough for what they think today, but a lot of it will go back to playing ranked. Yes, some teams will scrim. I would think around half will probably scrim of the teams that are playing here, but I think most of the guys will just go back to training mode, ranked, and then get ready, and then watch the VODs, talk to the coaches, get prepared, and then maybe a mental reset for some of the guys that are at the bottom.
Excellent. You brought up something that I'm actually curious about as somebody who plays and seeing this ranked mode that's been added to PUBG. You're very connected with the pros directly. Are they playing the ranked mode? Do they find this as a new entertaining way to sort of engage? Are they using it for training as sort of is the hope?
Yeah, they're using it for training as in, the more pressure. There's more players alive than the usual publics and stuff, but it's not as close. Like you in phase 3 to 4 in a competition mode or competition setting like this, you'll have 55 plus people alive. In ranked, you can sometimes only have 30, 35. So the pressure on the map is a lot smaller in ranked than it is here, but it's still a good pressure. It's good, it's good. Training for fights and stuff like this. And I think the most fun thing is also what I enjoy as well is you might have a chance to meet and destroy some of the guys that you play against in the competition, or for my sake, meet and destroy some of the guys that I used to play against and win against them, and then tease them a little bit. So that's fun.
100%. I can get that completely. All right, guys, that's pretty much it we have for today. I do want to give you a chance to sort of get your last thoughts out there, your takeaways after the first day of play, maybe advice to teams coming back tomorrow. Toby, let's start with you and give me sort of your closing thoughts.
I think teams don't have to stress. I mean, while I say aggression and on day one, it's not blindly running into battles just because that's being aggressive. You have to be aggressive, but with brains behind it too. Pick your fights, pick your battles. Liquid was a perfect example on the Stalbar ending. They knew, yes, we can stand up and start shooting, but we're most likely going to die because of it. So while they were playing aggressive to get to where they were, they then allowed themselves to play passive to get placement points to try and take the fight later on. So time your aggression wisely. Don't just blindly crash into compounds.
Martin, final thoughts?
Well, honestly, I want to see the teams preparing a little bit better. I want to see there's a lot of takeaways. There's a lot of kind of stuff you can take away, especially from the map stream, where you can look at some of the paths and the patterns and the rotations that people use, and you can maybe exploit that and make sure you punish some of the guys that are close to you. Because, like, for me, the most important thing here is know your neighbor. You need to know when the timing is or where the guys are moving, and make sure that if you can move in front of them, get into some of those positions that they like to play, and you might be able to do that before them, then make sure you know the timings and make sure you're preparing for that. It might not be for tomorrow, but that's also why I think going into next week, it's going to be really interesting. We'll see how much they're able to prepare and get ready for tomorrow with this short amount of time for preparation.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Avenger and Toby. Thank you to all of you guys who are watching right now. It means the world to us that you're spending your day here hanging out. From me, from Martin, from Toby, from Pansy, from Sims. Again, I just want to say thanks for spending your time with us. It's been wonderful. Come back tomorrow at the same bat time, the same bat place. We got more PUBG action for you kicking off in the morning and more coupons so that you have your chance to get those pick'ems in. Until I see you then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home, and play more PUBG.
were some CIS tournaments they won versus them. Now they're winning 2 times in a row in this tournament as well versus them. So they definitely look stronger.
Yeah, for sure. Taking down, of course, like NIP Alliance as well, other European teams, not just CIS. And their series against Nigma the other day looked pretty damn good, like taking a game off Nigma and making the entire series super, super close between those. I think Team Secret, it's kind of been shown that one of the thorns in their side of these CIS teams, you think about Unique when they defeated that 21 win streak. Flight to Moon are in a similar position where they could be looking here to take Team Secret out of the lower bracket and out of the competition.
That would be... That would be, a very big surprise. But let's see. One thing that I really have noticed from Fly to Moon is, though, that their drafts are not very versatile. They always go with the same stuff. They switch things up a little bit on their position 5. Position 4 is almost always Rubik. And you can kind of guess what Icebergs and VTune Zero pool is. So maybe Team Secret can abuse it a bit. They banned out the Phoenix already. That's literally 80% of their series. They play Phoenix on Always Wanna Fly. And now the Rubik as well, right? So it's like these 2 big supports from Fly to Moon are out.
Yeah, it does leave heroes, like Clockwork, for example, for General. Potentially that they're taking the Batrider out, so you're potentially looking towards something like that. But I think you're hitting the nail on the head there. Iceberg very much that mid-game tempo maker, while VTune looking for that kind of late-game security. They don't really overlap with heroes, so it feels like they're less dynamic in swapping roles and lanes around as well, right?
Yeah, they almost never really swap the lanes. I can't remember if I have ever seen VTune mid. Iceberg, he can be the playmaker. He can sometimes also carry you the game. If you give him a TA in a good game, he can carry. It doesn't matter. He just wins alone. In general, that was also very good point. That Clockwork, man. That stuff. 4 bracers, 3 bracers into Aghanims. That scares me. It's so strong.
Yeah, because this is a hero that I know I talked a lot with Lacoste about on our streams, and he really didn't like it in the position 3, much preferred it in like a 4 or 5, because you go in with hookshot, you tank a bunch of spells, you initiate, and that's pretty much your job done. But General is so good at picking and choosing when to make these initiations off fights that you don't feel that one and done is really the case for him.
He doesn't jump in and just die. Right?
Yeah. He's very good at picking his targets.
I need to lower the sound in those. The holy moly spam.
Holy moly!
It's a bit too much. Void Spirit from Team Secret should be Abzor. That's how they played it most of the time. Position 4. They used to combo it quite a lot with Nature's Prophet, who has been banned out by Flight to Moon. So they have some of these heroes also eliminated. Looking forward to seeing will Team Secret get that Puppy Puck again or not, because he's been playing it multiple games in a row now too. So something pretty scary. Sometimes he looks like a core. Starting as a position 5, but he just gets and finds a lot of farm on the map.
Yeah, it's something we saw from Mind Control for Nigma's games. He is the position 3, but he was getting pretty much position 1 farm, because they're kind of giving these heroes that can go play in that dead lane where they're on the opposite side of the map in a dangerous spot. If you puck, you're just orbing, jaunting, TPing home, shoving waves. You're not really in danger too much. You do get a lot of farm just by playing an area of the map that no one else can.
Yeah, that's very well put. Sometimes he ends up with 14, 15 deaths when he's playing puck like that, but
Space.
it's for the greater good. Fly to Moon, Shadow Demon, and Jakiro. I'm trying to think. Sorry, I'm trying to think if they played Jakiro on core before.
I don't feel like they have.
There was a team in this tournament that did play Jakiro on a core offlane position. I would say as well that it wasn't Fly to Moon, that it wasn't General. And this should be your position 5 Jakiro, because the hero is just so strong. And Fly to Moon, they do tend to open with their 2 supports. Like, their drafts are not really the most ambiguous. Like, if you see the heroes, you kind of know where they're going. And they always open up with 4-5 or 5-4 and then the rest of their course. Weaver.
very early Weaver pick, right? I guess you know that the only thing to catch you here is going to be disruption path so far, and very often we find ourselves with core heroes that need to itemize for disables rather than having innate stun silences or.
Yeah, I guess it is problematic to deal with the disruption into. Right, that can be a bit of a problem, but overall, it's a secrets draft, man. When they start drafting like this, these evasive heroes with very high skill ceiling, like something like a Pango next, let's say, and you don't even know how they're gonna lane. You don't even know how they're going to push towers, but they just outlane you and outplay you so hard in the laning stage that you find yourself banging your head against the wall 15 minutes in, not knowing what's up, what's happening.
How did they catch me? How did they see me here? Like, you look at these two heroes from Secret, and like, yes, they're elusive. Just gap close they have is ridiculous, though. Swarm to give vision, Remnant to catch people. You've got Astral Step and Jikuchi to give chase on people. Now you just need some damage and some follow through with some teamfight disables. All of a sudden, you've got this draft progressing really nicely.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Weaver is going to be played at, because Puppy did play it on 5 as well. So they can put it on position 5. Usually what happens there is, maybe you buy an urn, maybe you don't, but you rush that Aghanim's as soon as possible, Medallion eggs, and then you just have the best save in the game on a 12-second cooldown, which is stupid strong.
Yeah, I've seen like Magic Wand Wraithband Ags from like position 4 or 5 Weaver get straight in there. Banning out that Pango.
The Pango ban versus General as well. His hero pool right now, Batrider banned out, Pango banned out. You can get Clock, but it's... They get Clock anyway, I think. Void Spirit is good versus Clock. He has multiple spells to get out of the cogs with, right? Weaver is also pretty good versus Clock. You don't care about Clock as much as some other heroes, especially if you're a core. But Fly to Moon is Fly to Moon, and General is General. They've picked Clock in some crazy games in which Clock really shouldn't work, and they made it work, so...
Yeah, playing into like 5 maneuverable heroes like, PL, jumping out of cogs, still finds a way to targets.
A hero that I didn't see them play long, though, is Mars. Where did that go?
He got hit pretty hard with the nerf sticks and stuff, right? Like, his mana pool is pretty garbage now. But I'm not sure. Like, he still does his job. He blink initiates with a nice AoE. Popular and...
Especially when you have something like a Shadow Demon, right? You have disruption into the spear, so you don't have to buy Yules, you don't have to get that blink, you can just time it right. Man, someone is really going ham on holy moly in the game. Like.
It's Zai. It's Zai Yap's on the Summer Man. They're going wild with it.
They're not stopping at all.
There it is. Hey.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, there were so many games in the last few days which Fly to Moon have played, and they opted to go for something else than a Mars, when Mars looked amazing. Like, they would have some Phoenix Mars plus Snapfire or some crazy combo like that, and they didn't go for it. But this time around, 10 seconds. Jakiro is fine, I guess, but it's not your crazy Mars game. And remember, the same way these heroes deal with Clockwork, they deal with Mars, right? If you have ways of getting out of the cogs, you also have ways of getting out of the arena.
Just thinking about all the consideration that Fly to Moon put into that pick, like they dipped into their reserve time super deep. I guess there was also like DP as well as Clockwork that you can start to consider as like a flex pick between 1, 2, and 3 as a core, which is often what you like to do. When you have that third pick, you're like, we've got 2 supports, like you said. FTM go for 2 support opener. So having a very versatile third pick across 3 cores would have been a nice thing to have.
I swear, I have never seen them pick a versatile draft. Like, never. In the last month of me watching Fly to Moon, it's always a draft that you can pretty much know exactly where everyone is going. Okay, you can assume maybe they're gonna swap things up in the lanes, but the first 2 are supports. Mars is going to be played by General, and that Prophet, like 90% is mid. It's going to be Iceberg. Yeah. Team Secret.
But there's a chance. There's always a chance they swap it.
Yeah, there's always a chance for some cheese, but they're not even a cheese picking team, right? Do they have any meeples or broods? I don't think so.
They last pick Lena for Iceberg, and then his teammates flame him at the start of the draft. That's their last pick, cheese. So Kunkka Visage now. Kunkka's going to be able to keep you kind of safeguarded in that Mars ulti, good catch and disengage against Shadow Demon. Visage adds in a lot of minus armor and push here with the Weaver, and again, gap close into tower killing potential.
Who plays the Visage here? Who plays the Kunkka? Because
Matu?
both of probably Matu, you're right. Because Kunkka is
Nisha.
always played by Nisha, right? In secret.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the thing is, the last few games, Nisha was playing both the Kunkka and the Visage, but Matu is your micro god in this team, or if you can call Lone Druid and Brood, yeah, I guess you can. Brood, Lone Druid, they're good enough. So Visage is probably going to be played by Matu. There is some flex there. You could still last pick Matu 0 and put Visage on the offlane, but we'll see. It's a pretty decent Visage game. Jakiro can mess up with your layers. But you do have that boat that's pretty good to help you out. The Ram is crazy good this game. And the birds aren't really countered by anything until Mars gets his Crimson Guard.
Again, it's a lot of vision. You've got Swarm, you've got birds, you'll have that Helm creep from this. A lot of ways here to enable Kunkka and Void Spirit to be able to get these team fights started.
And the medallion from Weaver, right? They will have a lot of minus armor too. So
it's going to struggle against that. Like she pops Exorcism, runs in, minus armor, and 3 hits come. Fallen.
So one good thing for DP here is you do have sort of a save, I should say. You have the Shadow Demon, right? So because of that, you will be able to at least pop your Yules. You won't be perma-stunned. You won't be perma-locked. You will have that disruption into whatever your saving grace is. So it's not your Oracle DP, but it helps. It's all right.
So really, it feels like a V-Tune hero is this last pick. For anything in particular,
so
he's played a lot of different heroes recently.
He played a lot of PL, right? He played a lot of different heroes, but what I really like about the Team Secret ban out the PL, I still think that PL would be fine for them. It wouldn't be like this grand, massive, best pick ever, because you still are playing into Kunkka, who can buy Radiance. You could go Shivas on Visage and then deal with the PL. But Flight to Moon just loved that pick. And just to talk about the Kunkka third pick here from Secret, I love this so much, because when you pick Nisha's Kunkka as your third pick, you're just dealing with so many problems. Your draft becomes so much easier. The hero is very difficult to completely punish on the lane, and suddenly your Brood Mother isn't really an option, and many cheese picks can't really be picked any longer. It's a really
Terra
cool
Blade.
Pick.
That Pugna pick though, that set my mind racing. Like you can't really pick Illusion heroes, you can't pick Spectre, you can't pick Necro, you can't pick TB. FTM are like, screw it, we're picking TB anyway. We're gonna go for this one.
And it's like an easy TB game, exactly like you said. He's playing versus a Pugna. Visage on his level 15 as well, when he gets the double soul assumption. Plus you have Pugna's the Crepify. So much damage, so much magical damage coming from the side of Team C. Very brave. I'm gonna call this Terra Blade pick a very brave pick.
Yeah, a lot of this game is going to come on the shoulders of FTM's other 4 heroes. The DP, Mars, Jakiro, Shadow Demon have to have not only a good laning stage, but a good first kind of 15-20 minutes to get a couple of towers, maybe a couple of team fight wins. But I honestly, I think Team Secret are very well prepared to meet these early 3v3s or 4v4s in that kind of 15-minute period of the game.
If you look at Flight to Moon, when they're fighting, they need to commit their big ultis, right? You have the arena, you have the exorcism. Team Secret, they literally have, Kunkka's boat, and that's it. Everything else is super...
if they die.
Yeah, if they die, right? That's...
Yeah.
So, Team Secret look like if they're able to capitalize on the lanes and just get their levels, once Visage gets whatever he wants here, Dominator, type, whatever item, they'll just snowball so fast. V-Tune is going to have to farm out of his mind to keep up with them.
Yeah, but is that going to be in lane? Like, how do you carve yourself a piece of the map for this? What I'm really... Because wherever he goes, he's going to be Shikuchidon, by Puppy Weaver. Like Puppy's going to be chasing couriers and chasing TB. That's his job for the first, well, the whole game basically. Or he lanes into a Pugna, or he lanes into a Visage. It doesn't like TB jungle. Does he just like jungle level 1? Is that what we've come down to here? Is the Terrorblade's like, see ya guys, I'm out here.
So you start the lane, you try to go versus Zai and Yapzor, right? You try to lane as much as possible, try to get as much as you can out of it, and then you start jungling, because the pressure is going to come very, very fast from Secret. So we'll see.
Say, man, this BAM is wild.
Yeah. They do have some pretty great team fight spells on the side of Light to Moon, right? Your Arena, Macropyre, Exorcism, that's a lot of damage. So if you can repel Secret a couple of times, maybe you'll buy enough time for Vtune to just go ham.
What are the items going to be for TB? Manta Butterfly kind of game?
He will need a BKB as well here as soon as possible, right? Manta Butterfly, it's sick, I love it. But you're playing versus a Pugna as well. That's a lot of burst damage coming your way. The bird stuns, the bows.
Like buying Manta into BKB never feels
Yeah,
good.
it never feels good. Probably you're right. It probably will be your Manta Butterfly at the start. The only question is, how fast does he get it?
So Zai Pugna down bottom with Yapzor on that Void Spirit. Vtune, Terrorblade always want to fly Jakiro, and it looks like Secret still kind of lurking around here with Matu and Puppy on the Visage and Weaver. They really want to secure these 2 bottom bounty runes. Nisha hiding very deep in the pocket up top on that Kunkka. Hadance just blocking up camp. Mars there with the Shadow Demon up top, while Iceberg DP mid. DP against Visage. The battle of the slow projectile bad attack animation.
Yeah, DP is still fine here. Visage is probably the worst laner there is. His Grave Chill is solid versus some heroes, but DP still deals very well with his armor layers because of the suck, right? The suck is really good versus him too.
And she can secure range creeps with Crypt Swarm. Being able to wave shove against Visage always feels. You can force him to try and last it under tower, which.
Yeah. Dude, tell me, man. I have nightmares of that. But look, one good thing for Matu is whenever you're playing versus a hero that's shoving in lanes, you will get that level 6 on time. So that's pretty cool.
Matu gets the first range creep. Good start for him. Immediately bottom lane, Terrorblade Metamorphosis. Secure the CS. Against a Pugna Void Spirit lane, you know it's going to get much more difficult as the lane progresses.
You're nothing really too weird about that, right? You just pop the meta, you try to win the first few waves as well as you can. Yeah, try to deny as much as possible. It's not like Yapzor is going to join him on that first wave anyway.
Yapzor is hunting couriers, trying not to leech any experience. Courier being held by the tree line. Now they see the Void Spirit.
Yeah, but Zai just outplayed them so hard. He actually managed to deny a creep versus meta and Jakiro hitting the same creep at the same time.
Then up top lane, you're kind of waiting for level 2 on this Shadow Demon Mars, so they're going to have themselves that disruption into Spear, as well as Shadow Poison stacks. Puppy doing a pretty good job. SD away. There's no way for a low Hadance to go and snipe couriers because of the way Puppy's playing.
Yeah, and you're really slow on Shadow Demon. Your range is pretty bad too, so it's not that easy to go in for snipes. This lane should be pretty solid, decent for Secret, unless they get speared to the wall on Weaver, then he can die. But Kunkka is very tanky and he shouldn't be falling.
So far, laning stage looking very good for Fly to Moon, CS-wise anyway. Kunkka is up there, but Pugna Visage both kind of struggling. Lohar Dance just going to put the bubble onto Puppy. It's interesting that he expends it there instead of, waiting for a chance for General, for example, to get in with a spear.
No, that's true. He did allow Puppy to pull once. This time around, he doesn't want him to be fast enough to go back, I suppose. Just expends it. But probably should be using that combo properly, because they both did start with sticks. Your Weaver and your Kunkka have sticks, so you can't just spam poison in your spells. Oh, bottom lane.
With a ton of charges as first blood grabbed up. Zai takes down the Jakiro. They're chipping away at him little by little. So that's kind of the job of Always Wanna Fly, right? Is keep your Terrorblade alive.
Top lane, we have the spear.
And catching out Puppy.
Oh, that's a pretty good sentry.
1-1.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sentry there on the side, right? That's one of the reasons why he actually did die. So he has to be careful. He doesn't have that low cooldown Sukuchi on the first few levels. And if they do catch him, he's most certainly dead.
DP against this Visage. Very even. A boring farm raid. No one's going to be killing each other.
It's all about the denies. Yeah, like when you're looking at the lane versus Visage, don't look at the CS as much as the denies of the other hero, not the Visage, but whoever he's playing against, because that will tell you a big story. Well, if you manage to slow down his level 6, you can be in the lane a little bit longer and maybe even dominate him with a couple of good rotations. But if he gets 6 fast enough, your laning is done. You're never gonna deny versus those birds again.
Yeah, it feels kind of similar to like Storm or Ember Spirit, right? Getting the Remnants and the Ball Lightning. If you're able to mitigate that timing, you know that their strength doesn't come quite fast.
It's just a huge power spike. Mid lane, Puppy.
He's trying to come in after the Grave Chill. Snipes the Courier, and with that Soul Assumption, Iceberg trying to deal back with the Spirit Siphons. Puppy in a lot of trouble, but he pops his stick. He looks like he's out of there. Iceberg burning through a lot of his resources, but staying alive.
I love what they did there, because Matumba Man went 2 levels in Grave Chill and 2 levels in Soul Assumption. Because of that, they actually have kill potential. The problem is, though, Puppy did get a little bit too close.
A lot of Courier snipes, though, from Team Secret. Bounty runes. Looks like FTM going to get 3 of them. Hero very nicely takes down 2 south. Hadance dealing with Puppy up there as well. Does mean V-Tune's left alone in this 1v2 now, though. Jakiro's gone wandering. Terrorblade now has to handle Zai and Yapzor together, but he's top of the CS board, so he's doing fine. As
Nisha.
Do get the Courier there.
Nisha.
Take down Nisha. There is the banish. Spear will come. General launches him towards the tree. We'll find this Kunkka. A few more clicks as Puppy wants the cross kill. Aloha Dance. Fairy Fire up. He's got no stick charges, but he is fine thanks to raindrops as well. Out of there with the Shikuchi.
Yeah, he did.
While that's all happening, like bottom lane was being gone on as well. V-Tune was in a lot of trouble, but get out with his life while Zai still being chased. Damage over time from Jakiro, slowing him down. The Decrep buys a bit of space, but one more hit. It's going to do the job if he can reach it. Meta says he fogs them into the trees, skips away with safety.
Zai.
Cheeky.
Man, I just love to watch him. Whenever, if I'm watching some games in Dota and I see Zai playing pubs, I just turn it on instantly. I just love to watch this guy. He always plays on the edge, and it's never like he's just too risky. He knows what he's doing. Like there, he understands Pugna is incredibly fast, 375 movement speed, and you have that Decrep fight to work with. So very well played.
Absolutely is towing the line there. Terrorblade, he's level 5 and he is jungling. Tune really does swing deep and moves back into that more western part of the jungle because it looks like Yapzor and Zai they're hunting, looking for Jakiro. Trap him up with that remnant. He's decrept. Need a bit more damage here though. Let's see if they can find it with a blast. Not quite, thanks to Fairy Fire, but Yapzor has the final swipe of the sword.
Look at Nisha, by the way. He's not laning top, he's actually farming the stacks around the Radiant Triangle, leaving some lane to the Puppy, giving him some experience.
Now you've got this level 6 Kunkka who could maybe move in towards mid. Birds with boat onto the DP. She is a high priority kill. But I guess ideally here, a secret, you kind of want to wait for her to pop Exorcism and then kill her.
It's actually interesting that Iceberg even skilled Exorcism this early on. But yeah, you would like to have her pop that Exorcism, perhaps try and go for your tower, and then you counterplay that, because your counterplay is pretty sick with the Torrent and the Ghost Ship, if you can pull it off. Keep in mind though, because of the Soul Assumption level 2, they do have a lot of nuking power on the mid lane. So with some rotations, they could take her down.
Even just like an added decrep into life drain, right?
Mm-hmm.
It actually offers a lot of damage now. Pretty well farmed. 1,000 net worth, he's slightly ahead of his Visage.
This is the best thing that he can be doing though, pressuring bottom. Because it opens up the map quite a lot for his team.
They're trying on mid.
Mid lane.
Aether Remnant in there on these birds. A lot of damage with the chain stuns on top. They bring Iceberg down to 400 HP.
Now Zai might, let's see if he's gonna... Nah, he goes back bottom. It's good. Pressuring this tier 2 will just shrink the map even further for retune. And then you'll be able to just make all these sort of pincer movements from the bottom to the mid lane.
Yeah, even if they didn't have this ward for secret in that Radiant Triangle, they'd know where V-Tune is anyway, right? The way, like you're saying, Zai is in that bottom jungle as Iceberg, with the help of the Ice Path,
can just TP
Zai, but there's no stun. You're absolutely right, Lizard. He tries to go and he succeeds with the TP back home. Where is he? He's not.
He denied himself. He denied himself. He TP'd to the tower.
What? But how did he deny himself?
Can you just life drain? And that's it, right? Can you?
But what
should
did
be
he
able
life drain?
to. Life drain the creep
wave?
and that's it. Yeah, the creep wave was right next to him.
Cool. Income secret towards this Radiant jungle. That has boggled my mind. I'm not gonna lie. Denies himself. Doesn't even go back to Fountain. Beautiful. Okay. Well, that's just happened. Secret not gonna go.
Okay, just keep in mind that I don't think he actually wanted to deny himself. I think he'd be happier if he ported to the fountain and then go back in. But it was really great that creeps were there and that he recognized that he's about to die. So, yeah, because it's no difference, right? If you TP base or if you TP to the tier 1 and die and then you have to run back. You're just wasting time.
Yeah.
Aloha Dance, he's hunted.
Got a few stick charges, but with that decrap into magic damage, pretty relentless from Secret onto this poor position 4 Shadow Demon. Final blast connecting. Down he goes.
That Exorcism, that's going to hurt them. It's 50 seconds still off cooldown, and you see how this smoke rotation is instantly coming for the mid lane. They know there's no Exorcism, they can connect.
Coming in with Nisha, looking for his first real brawl of the game. Smoke popping there. Server ward up. They'll spot them out as General gets a good ulti down. Focusing Zai and he's being blown up. The boat connecting on the 2 and they're trying to chain stun up Iceberg. Even with the familiars, they're in a life drain back with that Spirit Siphon on Helm Creep and take the bonus 200 gold.
Did you see the instant ping? I think it was Yapsur. He pinged this cliff right away because they understood, okay guys, they had perfect vision on us when they broke the smoke. That has to be warded, but still, Flight to Moon, great response. I love the positioning from Mars there. He breaks the smoke and he sets up a kill on Zai instantly after.
Yeah, sitting behind that DP, taxing her very nicely. And it's like you were saying this whole time, Terrorblade still farming the jungle. He's in the pocket, 5,500 net worth. Moving very quickly towards Manta style.
Has Manta BKB Skadi queued up? That Skadi is kind of fine. I think Skadi is also fine because it helps you out tremendously. They have so many big nukes, so much magic damage. Poor puppy.
Poor puppy. He's only got 800 HP. General offers a lot of damage with 4 points in Spear and 3 in the God's Rebuke. But in towards mid, Shadow Demon has been found. Nisha being dealt with here with Demonic Purge and the Spirit Siphon, but the Life Drain, Return Suck, Counter Suck from Zai.
The
Fills them up
counter
as they
suck.
Focus the tier 1 tower. There we go. So objectives being claimed, and this is what you were saying, the kind of net closing in around the Radiant base and where they want to be farming. Team Secret just have to maybe find the Terrorblade once or twice, and then they can continue the chokehold on the map.
One thing when let's say you're new to Dota and you're looking at the secrets draft, one thing that they're missing is your true big core, right? Your carry, your position 1. Nisha is playing Kunkka, and obviously it's a great pick for them. But look at his item build as well. He has Phase Boots, is going into a Spirit Vessel. So I have a feeling that eventually, if this Terrorblade gets really, really big, he can be your true win condition on the side of Flight to Moon.
Yeah, you don't have like a Radiance carrier or, like you're saying, one of those real position 1 carry heroes.
And
a couple of semi-carries.
the thing about Visage as well is,
Puppy sniping.
Puppy, man, he's just sniping
couriers.
couriers. You did get that tower, they weren't able to defend it, and if you're Secret, that's what you're looking for at the moment. You're just trying to take as many objectives as possible.
I'm a big fan of Terrorblade's kills. The triple threat of 0-0-0. He has hit a lot of creeps. His Iceberg blown up. Team Secret make the immediate jump.
Yeah, that's a pit for you right there. That should be Roshan. You have Blightstone, you have Medallion, the birds. The Swarm, sadly for them, is on cooldown, but they have more than enough damage to take it.
It's all space for TB though, Lizard. 2 heroes dying, but Terrorblade can keep on farming.
Yeah, like, usually when you're doing this 4 Protect 1 in which Terrorblade is split pushing, at least if he's taking some objectives it would be cool, but in this game, he's afraid to do so because he's playing versus Kunkka. And Kunkka, Nisha, the way he plays it, he's always off the map. And if you split push, suddenly you're X-marked and you just die. So he needs to constantly just stay in the jungle. Of that Manta though, so that's a plus side.
Something to try and escape danger. And here comes the swarm of secret heroes. They're spreading pretty thin across the map, but it doesn't make them feel weak. Like Puppy, even if he dies down here, it's so much room to maneuver top, where Always on a Fly is going to get found with the birds. X-Mark back into the torrent, and there it lands, the dead body of Jakiro. While bottom lane, they do catch Puppy, so the 1-for-1 trade. But you start to feel now that with top tier 1 falling, and maybe that top tier 2, even Secret keeping bottom to defend, it is always a net win for Secret going 1-for-1 like that.
So they do have some TPs on cooldown, because of that probably they won't, but on the other hand, Flight to Moon is also not pushing bottom lane. It is always Secret's win in these small engagements and trades right now, but it's Flight to Moon's decision to take these trades, because not only are they behind, they're also playing versus a Visage with an Aegis now. And also, keep in mind that top kill was because of this ward, which Puppy put when he was diving so deep. That's why they got Always on a Fly so easily.
Oh. What's Puppy buy? He has Soul Booster queued. Has Puppy just queued Soul Booster so he can get the point booster?
Maybe. I would assume so. I still think he's going for Axe. There's no... He's just trying to mess with us, man. I'm telling you, Puppy is like that. He's just trying to mess with us, and then later on he's gonna open this cast, you know, idiots.
They thought I was going Bloodstone. No, Shadow Demon drained of his life as Team Secret strike very quickly down in that bottom lane. I'm pretty sure he just queued up when he wants the point. Yet again, they come in, they ward, they keep this vision nice and fresh down here. Doesn't seem to be a place for Iceberg to really play, and he's being hounded by Matu. Nice little ice path will block the entrance. But we wanted these 4 heroes from FTM to, well, at least I did, wanted them to kind of be active and play these fights.
Yeah, you were hoping.
5, so they're just running away from it.
You were hoping that they will try and fight, and they did. But the problem is they just kept on dying, so they decided, okay, let's not take any more bigger fights until our TB is online. And TB is sitting on what, 2.6k gold, together with the Manta, nowhere near that BKB. So, well, he only needs the recipe if he spends his gold. So he is close, getting closer.
Nisha toying with the Death Prophet, and there's the jump from General the Mars with the arena catching Zai, but they've got the boat flying on forward. Zai will die in the midst of it all with that Macroplier down as Matu, thinking about turning onto Iceberg, you'll stop now as they do stop advancing because Iceberg's being handled by the little birds, flapping their wings over the Mars but not landing on his head. Secret just resetting now. They don't have Puppy here, and FTM, they want to take this opportunity. They smoke. They need to find kills. They need something from this.
They're going for the outpost, right? 20-minute mark is about to hit, so they're most probably going to just set up a camp around this outpost on the top lane. Aloha Dance also did show himself. You can see the pings instantly. He's smoked, but he shadow poisoned the creep wave, so they know where he is.
Trying to find him. General. Oh, he blinks away and gets the bounty rune, but Aloha Dance might not have the same luxury of escaping. Disrupts. The torrent, well placed. Nisha was expecting that move. They find the blow up onto both of the supports. SD Jakiro both dropping. Space.
These heroes, and he has so much space. These heroes on the side of Secret, you don't fight them right now. And the question is, once this TB gets his BKB, will that be enough? What's that Prophet doing? He's got a Lotus queued up afterwards. I mean, it's solid. It's some more help. Oh, top lane Puppy. He has to be careful. That AoE silence.
Yeah, he's pretty low HP as well. Here comes the DP. Can he Shikuchi in time? Absolutely can. Immediate Shikuchi away. And it's close to impossible to land that silence. Tick perfect before he Shikuchi's, right?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they'll lead with the silence, but if you do lead with the silence, then you don't really have enough catch. No slows to get him. You can't get in range for the Siphon, perhaps. So, yeah. Plus, he's next to his tier 2. It's scary.
Hanky boy that people can compete to.
But look at him. He has a Tranquils, Bracer, Point Booster, and Ogre's Axe. So 1200 gold remaining for a full Aghanims.
That Axe comes out, saving, getting Kunkka back to 2008 HP, Visage 2000 HP, and he's got Mech now on Matuma Man as well. So much sustain. Coco's Rum with Mech, with Spirit Vessel, with Ags from people with that time lapse. Look, setting fights for Secret is going to be great as FTM are smoked up, looking for that initiation from General. V-Tune finally frontlining, showing himself on the map.
Has that BKB?
Secret very wisely, just towing the line.
They're hunting. General, dagger.
3-man ulti, Yules immediately though. Catching General to no spear, the 3-man silence. AoE from the DP as the boat does come crashing in. But they've taken down Yapzor. Turn around from Matu, but he's been drained out from that Spirit Siphon as Nisha still stands his ground. V-Tune is desperately scrambling and hunting for kills. Nisha wants the DP, but the bubble disruption save is there. And now V-Tune focus, the life drain. Where's the Sunder? He's stunned. The clumsy net into the birds, clear him up, and FTM are falling apart. Dragged back. The DP meets her match. The Kunkka with a double, giving Puppy a double kill.
And the Secret's lineup right now is so easy to play. All you have to do versus this TB is wait out the BKB, run away from it, try and get out as fast as possible. And after that, you can just re-engage, perma-stun him with the birds. You can re-summon the birds for those 4 consecutive stuns. Jakiro might be dead here.
Yeah, Watch Akiro. He is so close to death. Yule's into spear back though. Zai has been sent towards the tier 3s. Secret now have to contend with buybacks. Akiro returning to battle. Swift TP home.
That last fight was also so sad for Fly to Moon because they had a good idea where Secret is. Their initiation was also on point. They jump with the arena, but he doesn't manage to use the spear. That use was just pitch perfect in the same second, literally.
Spot on. The thing is, even though Secret kind of just lost a team fight in front of the Radiant base, they go for more. FTM exposed a little bit bottom lane, but with the disruption into Spear, they will catch Yapsaw. There's the act, bring him back to life, and all of a sudden Yapsaw is in fighting shape again. Aloha Dance will fall because of... And General, with Iceberg using up some of Man Visage, this little boy might be in trouble. Clumsy Net will catch him up, and that's the death of Matu.
So even if he had the Aghanim's time-lapse off of cooldown, he was silenced. He couldn't say this.
Secret aren't done, you know. Torrent boat, thanks to the X. Zai needs to pump damage forward, and with a Dagon level 1 into Decrep, he takes him out. Now Ether Remnant, V-Tune, he does have BKB as well as Sunder. Trying to focus onto the little Weaver, the bug, pesky and annoying, does get smashed under the foot of the TB.
Yeah, sir.
Still trying to give chase though. They find Jakiro. That's a nice easy pick. And they know the BKB's down here on the Terrorblade. He pops Man to the clumsy down to Zai. The Yule's DP is kept safe thanks to it. The Remnant crapping up Iceberg, and here we saw up to the high ground, but look at the damage onto that TV who's saved by disruption. Secret really are holding this high ground so beautifully. FTM just can't leave the vicinity. But they're even the final casualty.
They're just playing with them so hard around this high ground. And you can see the moment BKBs are off, you cannot approach Secret. They're just playing, toying with you, waiting for you on the high ground. The Crab Fight Dagon. The Crab Fight Dagon Torrent on the other target. Forcing Yules defensively, forcing that disruption defensively. And it looked like Fly to Moon might have an opportunity there to take a good fight after getting rid of Visage, but they have more in the tank. Everyone is contributing so much to their team fights on the side of Secret.
Doing their job. Roshan back in 1 minute. Going to be the next hot spot of action.
Kunkka will have the BKB. He has, 200 gold remaining to farm it. There's bounties on the bottom as well to take.
Going for him, though. TB's going to deny them with illusions. See ya. Bounty rune's gone. But look at this wraparound in onto General. Cancel the blink with a Shikuchi. Swarm him up. He's already used his spear. He's trying to use blink away. Not going to make it, though. That Ether Remnant will hold him in place. Maybe tries for it again, but there's no way out with that. The gank from Secret perfectly placed, and this will allow them to collapse onto the tier 2 top now. And it secures Roshan area.
Rosh will be up in like 10 seconds, so they will be able to just go in it. They will have around 20 seconds without Mars. So many items coming out. Greaves on Visage, BKB on Kunkka.
Pugna going for Dagon level 20. Keep bringing out recipes.
It's so good, right? You questioned the Terrorblade last pick because of the Pugna pick as well. Because Pugna is considered really strong versus TB. You have a lot of armor as TB, you have your illusions, but your illusions die to the suck. Plus you have the Dagon, the Crab Fight Dagon versus the real TB to take him out.
Because when we were talking about the PL, I considered TB as a last pick for FTM, and then I just didn't mention it because Secret picked Pugna. And I still came for it anyway.
Yeah, they got it, and he's 1,000 gold away from his Skadi. He will be playing versus Kunkka with an Aegis and she's Visage, though. So, Fly to Moon, the way they have to fight the next fight is put everything in that arena and just try to blow Secret up somehow. But it's so problematic when you're playing versus Aghanim's Weaver, you're playing versus Kunkka with Halberd BKB, you're playing versus Visage, who's naturally super tanky, and he has Greaves. Man, it's...
And you need to fight on the dire side of the map, right? FTM cannot If FTM take a fight on their side of the river, even if they win it, they use all their shit and they can't go push. So the fight has to kind of start under a tier 2 so they can actually threaten high ground, force buybacks. Because at this point, 10k net worth behind against all the items you mentioned, you need some kind of big momentum swing.
Yeah, and they're not getting any big items that help them in this game. I thought that they might get like Crimson versus the Visage, then some Pipe perhaps to help out with all the magical damage. Maybe a Shiva's on that Prophet also versus these heroes would be good, but they're unable because they're poor. They're dirt poor. They're trying to farm the most minimalistic kind of items like straight BKB on TB, your Lotus Orb on that Prophet.
Radiant Courier sprinting away from that Visage and all the summons. Secret really are closing in on this Radiant base. In their high ground, waiting for Secret to maybe make a slip up.
They do have you. Yeah, Nisha is used. Will he be X back?
The double
another one.
Okay, spear back into the tier 3. That's a way to catch the Kunkka. Does have the time lapse back though. Puppey ready and waiting. Also, Aegis in hands. Nisha had a secondary life if need be. But like, even with the perfect play, you still can't do anything because of Weaver Ags.
Exactly. Top lane, Jakiro.
Yours up top. Jakiro does get caught out. Chain stunned into oblivion by Secret, and he's dead without buyback. So we've got a 4v5 on our hands. Well, a 3v5 because Terrorblade is not bloody coming.
Yeah,
he is bottom lane and he's not moving.
He's angry.
Guys, I need to hit 200 more creeps. Just give me 10 minutes, please.
He's getting the bounty rolls, and Jakiro will have a buyback because of that.
DP is dying. DP is very close to death. The jump back, though, is that Lotus Orb does return some soul assumptions. Shadow Demon blown up by Zai. So quickly removed from the game. He does have buyback on the SD, but your racks are falling. They're Xing, torrenting, aggressively forcing FTM back and away from this top lane. No defense has been mounted, really.
Did Jakiro just buy an item? Because before Vityun took that bounty, he was very close to the buyback, and then he was further away. I think he bought wards or something, like a sentry.
Maybe so.
Yeah, in any case, his buyback wouldn't really have mattered way too much. And they need to be careful.
Iceberg. That's a little risky. He's got Yule Scepter. Still going to get X-Mark back as Team Secret, they reset back onto the low ground. But the TB's in an awful lot of trouble. Torrent won't connect on him. A BKB sunders and he runs forward. They've got the time lapse, so Visage is full HP again, and in comes the rest of Secret. A good Mars ulti will trap 3 inside, but General is isolated all alone. He's got no friends. He's going to walk himself out of the Colosseum, but the Torrent's there. Onto the DP, and they focus Iceberg. Really zoning on onto the Death Prophet, but she's healing so much. Lotus Orb there, but she will fall. As Team Secret trade her out for Yapzor, but Nisha is healthy as heck, and he's going for TB. There's no Sunder, no BKB. He's got Manta and that Disruption to buy him a little bit of time, but the clock is being broken now. FTM without their primary hero. General's trying his hardest to spear back any of Secret into this base.
Good
the buybacks have all flown through. They've got the Kunkka's Aegis, but it feels like that's the only real win here that FTM have gained, as Nisha is just going to be able to wander himself out of the Macropire flames. And Matuma Man, he's just chilling, hitting barracks, destroying buildings. No one's touching him.
It's ridiculous what Zai is doing this whole fight. That's like 10th Dagon that he has used in the whole skirmish. He's just sitting back and life draining the proper side that needs help, right? Whoever needs help, Zai is his medic pretty much. And then when he needs to kill as well, he jumps in. He does have a Dagon tree, and he just deletes heroes. 10 seconds for TV.
They've caught the little Weaver. Ice Path. With the God's Rebuke, they've managed to trap him up against the wall, but the life drain keeping him alive, and Puppey might get a time-lapse off in time. It's very close, but he still will fall. Dead for a minute and a half. Secret without their Weaver, but it's still a 4v4. No General Mars, as Always Wanna Fly just wanders into the Valley of Death here. In between Nisha and Yapzor, the Jakiro has nothing to do but die. Iceberg also very close. Disruption delays the inevitable. There is no escaping the wrath of Secret as Nisha, with Yapzor clearing through members of V2 and FTM one by one. V2, nice little manta there, by the way.
Yeah, that was a nice play.
Slick.
Yeah, that was a nice play. Iceberg was trying to kill off Zai, who was left on like 10%, 5% HP. But Zai jokes him around the trees and Iceberg dies in the end because he's out of position. And we were there. I think he could have lived, but he was a bit greedy. And yeah, GG. It doesn't really matter.
I think he could have got time lapse off, right? But he was holding it.
Yeah, he went for the Sukuchi play to try and be cute, to try and save the time lapse for someone else maybe. But so one big thing from Flight to Moon that I have noticed in this game is that they really didn't combo the Jakiro.
Go to TV or
Yep. Hello, people.
It's Dyer's band now.
When are we coming to Berlin, Gary? Is it gonna happen ever? Ever again? Really? Feels bad, man. I want to cry. Just create some tournaments on your own. Berlin Open.
5 seconds left.
What? You guys had that. The last tournament I played in was, I think, Join Dota's MLG. You remember that? Join Dota X MLG, something like that. What happened with it? You guys just died after. Like nothing.
wasn't like not a good partnership.
Yeah.
10 seconds. 5 seconds left. It's Radiant's band now.
Welcome back, everyone. Here we are with Game 2. It's Team
Dyer's band
taking on Fly to Moon as we crack on with our lower bracket. It's a best of 3, and it's getting a bit spicy here. Fly to Moon have done very well to get here, but Team Secret, it seems like they are a hurdle that they just can't get over.
Yeah, you need something in the zoo. You need some zoo meta. At least the zookeeper. You can't go for TB and hope to be alive to fight 40 minutes plus.
10 seconds.
It just doesn't work in this current state of the game, really. If you're Fly to Moon, you need to switch things up a little bit. Do something different.
Yeah,
Maybe some
need
clockwork.
Early pressure. Clockwork. Batrider gone? Yeah, he's just been banned out. But I think, honestly, we talk about Iceberg and his mid-performances. He's spectacular in a lot of these matches. V-Tune looks really good when he's given this late-game, signature hero carrying things. But General has to have a game that he can play. It's got to be one of these Clockwork initiation heroes that has backup as well.
So they did give him enough space to get that Blink Dagger in the last game, right? He did get that, but it was still so difficult for him to actually do anything because there was also no burst damage on their team that last game, right? You had your Mars, Shadow Demon, Jakiro, Dead Prophet. You initiate with a spear and then what? There's like some ghosts flying around, like no one is actually dying. Maybe they
A little
can...
bit of damage here.
Yeah.
Shadow Poison there. There's a lot of damage over top. And then you've got Coco's Rum, Time Lapse.
Aghanim's Weaver.
10 seconds.
Whew. Rough one. So a pretty similar early ban stage here. Secret removing... What do they swap? The Queen of Pain, Batrider. So they put Pango into this first
Pango
phase.
instead of Rubik. This means Fly to Moon is gonna grab it if Team Secret doesn't, right? Because they have first pick, so they could just go for the Rubik. They moved away completely from it, man. You have Yapzor, you have the god of Rubik on your side, picking the hero. Like they really haven't drafted it in a while. Maybe today, let me check. Maybe I'm completely wrong and Reddit is gonna kill me. Wait.
The comments are coming.
Oh, no.
It's been one of those interesting kind of paradigm shifts for Secret. It was always
Yep.
Puppy on the hard 5, Yapzor on that greedy 4, but now it seems like they're all sharing farm a lot more. A hero like Rubik suffers a bit more.
They're all greedy, yeah, and Rubik does suffer in that situation, you're right. What's pretty cool is now this Shaker enables so many offlaners. He can be offlane as well, but most likely won't be. It's not where he's played anymore. But he enables so many different offlaners that are just a little bit squishy. We had this discussion before. So your Necros, your Pugnas, your Batrider that's banned out, obviously, even your Nature's Prophet that's banned out. So all these squishier ones can work with Shaker really well. And heroes that like to be left alone also benefit from having Shaker in the game because he can then rotate across the map.
Radiant pick.
Exactly, like we've seen Earthshakers like level 1, 3-4 minutes in and not be afraid because they've got Fisher. Get Blink Dagger. first picking a hero that's like ace up the sleeve, where, you know, Blink Echo Slam is going to win you or like turn a team fight for you. It's always a great hero to kick things off.
Instantly Fly to Moon pick Rubik. It's Aloha Dance, most played hero on this team. They love to play the Rubik. They love Rubik Mars as well, because it's even better than Shadow Demon Disruption into Spear. This is even more reliable. The lift into the Spear is pretty good. But Clockwork is so amazing for them already because you're playing versus a Shaker. So they might be already thinking about that offlane, because it could be banned out by Secret. Who knows? Secret obviously did study them well because they're banning all these big heroes of theirs. They go with Ember instead. Okay, all right. How do you feel about Ember?
Time.
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, give me Team Secret Lone Druid right here, right now. Show it straight off the bat. Ember Spirit, I honestly don't know how I feel about him, because I've seen a couple of players try to move away from this Spirit Vessel Maelstrom, and then it feels like, yes, you're going to be scaling, but you're not as active early on. Then Spirit Vessel is this, you know, very much you need to be active, and if you're not, then you're using all that gold for nothing whatsoever.
You called it.
Yeah, there it is.
Why do you need me? Can I just... My girlfriend is here. You got this. Bye-bye.
No, come on. I need you for the rest of the draft. I call one hero you can't beat.
Now, Lone Druid is a pretty sick call. It's also really good, and I have seen it multiple times with in this exact scenario, Lone Druid versus Ember, in which Ember, if he gets that level 6 fast or a vessel, he can get on top of Lone Druid and make his life kind of problematic. But you're working with Savage Roar, you're working with a percent like RNG, right? If you manage to root him, he's just so done. And also another thing, Ember Spirit, he doesn't like playing versus Shaker way too much. You can say that in the lower tiers, yeah, it's not a big deal, but in tier 1 dotes, in which Shaker is always in the right position hiding behind the trees, that fissure, you can't see it, and it's an instant disable, so it allows for another follow-up with whatever they draft afterwards. So it can be problematic.
Yeah, and Ember, when he's split pushing waves, he needs to be in the middle of a creep wave, pushing it really as well. Blink Echo, the instant.
Also, for me,
it does go a little bit both ways. Like Ember Spirit can scout Earthshaker sometimes with like slight into the.
Yeah. What I wanted to say, for me, Ember Spirit is best in the hands of Team Secret right now. Team Secret and perhaps Nigma. The way they enable it on the side lane. They put the Ember on the side lane, and the support that's there is not leeching any experience. He's constantly just harassing the position 5 or 4. Ember gets that level 6 plus full free farm on the lane, and then just goes Sam across the map, makes space. I love that playstyle. I'm not sure if Fly to Moon will be able to recreate that, because I haven't seen them play it on the side lane. It's usually your mid lane Iceberg Ember hero.
And then you need to kind of bolster. Ember Spirit has like tower damage. He just pushes buildings. So then you need to have one of your other core heroes really be a tower pusher. Is that a puppy puck?
Yeah, that's a puppy puck right there. I would at least assume that's a puppy puck. You get another route to work with. It's not great versus Jakiro. The Ice Path messes with you. There's a lot of disables. They have an instant lift on Rubik. If he somehow finds himself laning versus Jakiro, that's also living hell because of all the dots early on. But most likely he'll be on the safe lane, possibly with Lone Druid versus the Rubik +1, so should be alright.
Got the combo. Dream Coil into Savage Draw.
Yeah.
So yeah, when Ember Spirit's picked, I often feel like you're morphling and hit towers, your Lycans, that. Because it's like limits your options. Like you can't feel good about going for like a Spectre or the other kind of later game heroes.
This is pretty early, yeah. It's pretty early. It's sick versus Lone Druid. It doesn't really care about the Shaker in the lane. But instantly, you were mentioning Morphling. I just wanted to say how good he is on the other side. You can say that he's a bit on the greedier, Spectrum because he's playing with the lone druid, but really you're playing Morphling versus Ember Spirit. You remember that Thompson versus Ember, like Morphling versus Ember, how it went? You just crushed him. You turn into Ember, you Searing Chains him, then you get that E-Blade to work with, and you just delete people. And this is such a sick Morphling game as well. You're playing literally into Ember and Lifestealer. One of them, you're forcing Ember into getting the Vessel, and Lifestealer pretty much never likes playing versus Morphling. You have that, range and kiting potential versus him.
You have super high armor and pretty low HP as well.
Yep.
Lifestealer doesn't massive amount of value from.
I wonder.
We've been seeing like 15-minute E-Blades come out of Morphling, so early game hero.
What do you pick for general here? What's his hero? What's his hero here?
It's dire.
What's sick for them?
Like a bait and switch, like not going to play Ember, right? That's Iceberg, in Lifestealer, hero for and then like that's kind of set in stone.
Yeah, I think so. When you look, if you don't know Secret and you look at their draft, you could be fooled that Puck is a core, but because you know Secret, you're mostly expecting Puppy to be playing it. Even though they are still flexible, they could switch things up, make that Puck a core. But on the side of Fly to Moon, though, it's always obvious. Like, this team is owning in the CIS. It's been owning some EU teams as well. But every time they draft, you really can see what they're... You can tell their lanes. Their cards are always open. So they ban out the Abaddon. That's interesting. I don't know. I'm just looking at all the general heroes and trying to think about what's good here for them.
Difficult choice. Everything is being banned out or picked already, right? There's no Beastmaster, no Prophet, no Batrider, Pango, Beastmaster. Queen of Pain's out.
Your clockwork isn't really that great. It's not banned out, but you're playing versus Morphling versus Puck on the lane. You can't really pressure them a lot. And then you're playing versus Lone Druid too. Could be good though. You would be able to set up some spells for Jakiro, let's say. If you hook in and Cogs, even if he gets the Bear in and Savage Roars you still would have Jakiro with Micropyre. You would give Lifestealer that Vessel to work with.
Like you could picking Necro into
yeah. It is a decent option, you're right. But then again, Silence from the Puck, Morphling with E-Blade later on could be problematic.
I have the same issue with like Timbersaw, for example. Like it could be a decent Timber game, but there are already, questions that have been answered by draft.
That's a good ban. Remember Liquid? They picked offlane Ancient Apparition. They picked offlane Ancient Apparition and they won versus Morphling with it, and they just crushed. So it's a pretty good ban. I'm not sure if Fly to Moon would be willing to play the way Boxy did, but it's a pretty good ban by Team Secret.
I like this Legion last pick as well. Good laning opponent against Lifestealer. We've seen her historically do very well, especially if you can drag support lane, leave her in a 1v1 naturally. Which is something that Puck is exceptional at doing, right? Playing off lane, camps near runes.
If Puck is with her, even maybe Shaker is with her, right? Like even though I would like that a lot, the problem is if you put Puck with Legion, he really can't deal with Jakiro. He can't trade. He can't pull the Jakiro away from the lane because one dual breath or two and he's already very low. Let's just see. Oh.
It is a general Ember Spirit.
A good old Iceberg OD. General, let's say a year ago, got so much MMR spamming Ember. I remember watching him, his last 30 games were literally Ember Spirit plus 1 or 2, something else, but mostly Ember. So he definitely can play the hero well. And OD, I'm just thinking, if they put Matu mid lane, it's not going to be that easy for the OD, right? Versus the lone druid, but it is. But it is a good OD game, right? You have multiple saves.
Save up against this
10 seconds.
duel against the Morphling. Lone Druid and Razor were always like the two heroes where you like snap pick against OD, and you're picking OD into a Lone Druid here from a
It's an iceberg
again,
hero.
it's this.
Mhm.
But again, it's that situation where you get to have that last pick of the draft, and you don't have any good options. You always have to really kind of favor the opponent's side that has put you in. You've got backs up against the walls.
Yep. But then again, let me ask you this. You're in the lower bracket. You're playing versus Secret. Even if you're Fly to Moon, you have to prepare something special for them, right? And we haven't seen them play this OD in a really long time. Maybe it's something that Iceberg has been practicing again, something that isn't really picked in pubs, but now he'll show us. Please don't make me look like a fool. Iceberg, do something with this OD. Now he's gonna show us how it works.
0-6. He goes like 0-6 in lane, like Lizard. Yeah, forget it, man.
2 rotations from the Yabzor with fissures.
And he's done for. No, I think you're absolutely right, though. You have to step out of the box a little bit and think, hey, our normal drafting style, our normal picks in this kind of obvious and open drafting style that we've got that are reading very easily worked up against Secret because we're just getting out-drafted so hard and outplayed in the lanes.
Now, let's see, they are tipping him. Aloha Dance just tipped OD, so they believe. Hope it's not one of those sarcastic tips, you know, when you start the game and someone picks a hero you don't really like.
Oh, that is the thing, right? Because it was like a month ago. I think Lacoste and I were. It was that situation again where they had very last pick and they were kind of struggling to find this one hero. And I'm pretty sure, like I don't know this 100%, but it very often feels like, and I've seen a couple of players say it, Iceberg likes to call his hero. And he's like, I want to play this. This is good here, and his captain will let him go along with it. And they picked Lina in this game as a last pick, and it kind of looked an okay Lina game, but as heroes spawned and everyone started moving out of the fountain, 2 or 3 members of his team like always want to fly and Aloha Dance. No, not just tipping him, but all chatting. I don't know what my mid laner thinks, but he wanted Lina, and I think it's bad. Like legitimately, like our mid laner is crazy. He wanted to play Lina.
It does happen to them a lot, right? And like, look, he's goddamn tattooed all over his, I don't know, body. He's a boxer. He used to be a professional boxer or some shit. If he says he wants Lina, you give the dude the Lina. You don't argue with that, right? Like, are you gonna fight him? No. Give him Lina. End of the story.
Has to be said, confidence is a powerful thing in Dota 2.
No, that's
on these heroes and confident in your own actions.
That's a very good point. You know, you can see even on the mini, like let's say some not so great things in the pro scene, but if you're playing a shaker and you're not confident with that fissure, every time you swing again, you're gonna miss. Every time you swing again, the fissure is going to be on the wrong side because you missed that second. You missed that opportunity.
Yeah, hesitation can be the downfall of a lot of players and teams. You kind of learn this, you know, playing sports or playing video games, esports, whatever. On the same page, you know, everyone doing a poorly planned execution is better than everyone doing different execution. So everyone's on the same page and you'll get something done.
Yeah, when the game goes full, you just go with it, and that's it. Right? Famous words of a double TI winner.
Feel where that game's going. Secret, similar setup again. Way up top on the Morphling. Aloha Dance Rubik and General Ember Spirit going to be that off lane for FTM.
30 seconds to battle.
To mid, Lone Druid against the Iceberg OD, and then down bottom is that big gathering of heroes. Puppy and Yapsaw, your Puck and Earthshaker, with Zai, Legion, Fly Jakiro, and Lifestealer hiding away as well. Where's Matu's bear going? He's wandering around, cutting down
It's
trees.
lost in the woods, man. Leave it alone.
He's having a
finding.
bear picnic.
He's searching for his long-lost love in the Radiant jungle.
Where's my bamboo? I guess we call back to mid. Yeah, I just found it interesting he doesn't try and, you know, bounty run up to...
Maybe he was trying to scout, or something like that. Not sure. Maybe he was also trying to check for the Radiant ops under the tier 1. Wasn't really watching his whole pattern of movements. I was busy looking at Yabzor down bottom.
You know what he was doing? Thinking like if FTM want to try and dodge the Lifestealer Legion lane, and they we've seen all these players kind of sit mid with their side lane cores to swap lanes around. I guess he was scouting for that to see if Lifestealer and Ember Spirit were moving somewhere.
So okay, so I have to tell you though, historically that lane has been heavily favored for LC. It isn't as much anymore. LC is actually it's a bit harder lane for Zai than it used to be.
Just like the attack speed. And
the changes. The changes to the feast, pretty much, are what did it.
It does take a few levels for LC to kind of get to level 4 or 5 before she starts really pressuring. She wants a high 5 and V2. We'll give it to her. Press the attack there, going to keep her topped up and healthy.
She's
V2 just constantly clicking the Legion.
Because of that, she's pretty good versus Jakiro, right? Every spell, just press the attack, you're scot-free, you're fine.
And mid lane so far, 3 and 6. OD getting a ton of denies in. Being at 1 and 4. Oh, got this nice juicy wave coming in under his tower. Bottom lane, Fisher there onto Always Wanna Fly, but Zai is very low. Attack to take off the dual breath, and off we go.
Their lanes are not going well. Mid lane, Lone Druid is crushed. That's why Iceberg is tipping him right now, because man, 3 last hits from OD, but 11 denies. if only he last hitted as well as he denies.
Imagine he was at 11-11 right now. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this before. 5-11. Ridiculous beginning here for that OD.
Well, that's really what every OD player wants to do. He just wants to make your life hell. He doesn't really care if he's gonna win or not, as long as he makes you miserable. Oh,
There it is.
wait.
First blood on Nisha with slight chains, fade bolt, and lift.
Did he not morph there? What happened? I thought I looked away even. I saw them go on him, and then I looked away. I was like, he's fine. He's gonna morph and just... Alright.
Fairy Fire morph. Should have been okay, but he wasn't.
Happens.
I think. You're saying this all compounds that issue, right? Issue for... Anyway, it's great for FTM getting that early laning stage start. General, 19 last hits. This is a position 1 Ember Spirit from the off lane.
Yeah, and this Ember Spirit can afford to go for a Vessel, because he is the real position 3, right? So his job is to get the Vessel in this game. Bottom lane.
Zai, double Fisher. V-Tune back into the trees to salve up, but Always Wanna Fly has been left here isolated. Need a few more punches. Yabzor and Zai not quite with enough finally. Yappy with the boots advantage will be able to chase him down.
Yabzor always in the right position to help you out with some of those fissure blocks. He was creep skipping before as well, giving farm to Zai. And he has another fissure here. Oh.
They try for it. V-Tune, he cuts into the trees, does get a bit of distance, but Zai with that moment of courage proc, level 2. Comes through and finds the Lifestealer. So this is a massive amount of experience and gold being wasted as well.
Yeah, look at these waves.
3 waves coming in. Jakiro's happy, but Lifestealer is definitely not.
Yeah, he missed like 3 range creeps here. He didn't get a lot of experience. But yeah, Always Wanna Fly, the highest level in his life at the 4th minute mark. He's having a blast.
Level 4. 4 minutes 20. Always Wanna Fly hits level 4. Beautiful stuff. Mid lane. There's the Fisher from Yabzor, trying to alleviate the pressure that Matu's been facing. Astral is on cooldown. That Fairy Fire is only going to buy you so much time.
He tried to imagine the fissure away, Didn't work the first time, moves again into it. Hopes that it's going to disappear, but yeah.
He turns around and loses vision of it. It's like, okay, if I turn around now, it'll be gone.
Yeah, very good rotations from Yabzor so far. This guy is a blast to watch on his shaker. Just always makes the right moves. General top.
Very low. Issues there with that waveform adaptive strike, but Boots on general gets him enough distance.
Doesn't even have to go back, Nisha. He needs to be careful instead.
Will more for this time. Then we start looking back
What's
towards
up?
mid lane, where going for it.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Fine,
Continue.
Yapsor getting out of there. But yeah, the CS mid lane now is very, very close. Matuma Man, I think, has been a little bit irritated by all the denies, so while Iceberg was dead, he went on a deny spree.
Therapeutic deny spree, right there.
Yeah. Another courier snipe. Yapsor on the money yet again.
Do you think we're all a little bit, hurt for the future generations because of all the denies that we have suffered on the mid lane? Like, do you have any problems because of that? Do you have bad dreams from all the losses that you suffered on mid?
You know what used to be worse was like Shadow Demon or OD when you astral someone and you get no experience when you deny creeps.
Oh man, oh please no.
Those were the garbage times, man. Those are the times I have nightmares about. Sniper Troll Juggernaut picked every game. OD can astral and deny 100% XP.
What about Laser from Tinker? Do you enjoy that? Do you like Laser? Let's talk about all the things you hate.
Now, I used to be the quintessential mid laner, toxic ego.
Iceberg.
Oh yeah, he's been caught by the Fisher. Astral. What's happened there? But he's been trapped up with the bear. Half HP OD still seems fine to turn around. Of course, away from the mid lane and the rotation from Shakira to help.
Yep, so they have a ward there. They should be able to pick him up.
Ice dodge on the ice path. Drops his shoulder, turns around. The Fisher not coming thanks to another Astral. Iceberg should have enough damage here to take down Earthshaker, but it's always when a fly that actually cures the kill.
Damn, this is one big Jakiro. He's level 5 right now. Can they take the bear? He's very, very tanky. Should be able to escape. Yep.
I think Tinker and Invoker were two of my go-to heroes.
Okay, Invoker fine, but
mid lane again? No, they can't get it. Or unless, or can they? Matu, he's just like claws, RNG. Give me the claws. There they are. And tangle him up, and he's got Savage Roar as backup. Doesn't even need to use it.
yeah, those astral imprisonments really aren't working. You can't use it. He uses it, and Matu just gets out of it with the bear, and El Doge mows you down. El Doge. Yeah, I'm actually very glad that Matu is back with his lone druid. Boxy has been the reigning champion on the hero for the last, I would say, year or so. Matu didn't really play that much, but he's a treat to watch as well.
Boxy lone druid?
Sorry, not Boxy, Koikwa, okay. Of course. Yeah,
You worried me there for a second. Like, have I blacked out?
No.
I've not seen Boxy lone druid. But yeah, I agree. Koikwa has been.
This is the play.
That is a dual win.
This is the play. You feed him. You made him chubby on this Jakiro, so that
though, top lane having to orb away, but they've got the steering chains. He can't get out of there with a jaunt. Nisha into Ember Spirit mode. Still trying to make a play here on Aloha Dance. Not easy though.
he's got the sticks. He's got the Fairy Fire. Yep. Okay, Puppy died top, but they did get a dual victory down bottom, so 10 damage going Legion's way. A bit better trade, I would say, for Secret. But Puppy needs to be careful. They have so many disables here and so many ways to lock him down.
They found the Jakiro again. Same place, same time. Deja vu for Jakiro.
Oh man, there really is
Claims
something.
the bounty.
There really is something with Always Wanna Fly and this position 5. Don't get me wrong, he's an amazing captain, obviously. He's been captaining many CIS teams in the past and is doing really well with this as well, this iteration of Fly to Moon. But there's something comical about him dying. There just is.
That's why he's got that nickname, you know? Always wanna die.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't think people, or At least I don't use it, you know, like kind of offensively. It's just a cheeky little cause.
Yeah, of course.
He knows his place.
He's a
Top
position
lane.
5.
Oh,
He missed it
that
twice.
didn't quite get the courier. He missed uphill on that courier twice, did he? Now lose his life for it. As Puppy and Nisha, magic burst damage galore.
Mid lane, always wanna fly or die. Fly this time. He's fine. He had that macro pyre going for him as well. And this is kind of... Oh no. Oh, the bear is coming.
Just wants to buy boots. Bear, let him buy boots, please. Always want to fly is 70 gold away.
Damn, that bear actually dropped really low.
Dominant out. And Liquid Fire, pretty good against Bear, but only 1 point here from Fly.
He did it.
Points an Ice Path.
He scouts Yabzor out. And this is actually a really good play from Always Wanna Fly. He defends the tower versus the Carti wave, right? So they don't lose that mid-tier 1. Iceberg couldn't stay there any longer. He was killed 2 times. He cannot stay anymore. He needs to farm the jungle. He needs to find his farm. And because of that, they put the position 5 mid lane. He survives. He outpushes the wave. And then he also scouts the Yabzor on the right side. These really do matter in the laning stage.
Oh, General, he's hunting behind tier 1 top lane, gets the chains as Puppy.
Mid lane as well.
His own orb, while mid lane always on a fly. Yet again, bodyguarding the OD mid.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
This is where Nisha now kind of swings down to bottom lane. 12 minutes in. Pressure that lifestealer, try and force V-Tune to make the mirror movement top, but FTM not going for the expected move where you just shift your heroes and mirror the action of your opponents, but they bring OD down here and V-Tune's really baiting.
He's baiting the duel.
He's trying so hard. He wants it to happen, but the Astral use preemptively there onto Zai, throw the Santi's Eclipse in there, and this Legion commander with the press the attack and the stick and the raindrops getting back into the forest.
Puppy's here.
Safe and sound. Puppy not level 6 yet though, so no Dream Coil. And Yapzor's Earthshaker is lurking towards that top part of the fight.
Mid lane.
Not able to get in while mid lane Aloha Dance. There are the roots, the entangling claws connect. And Matu claims his mega kill streak.
Aloha Dance actually had a pretty neat play there with stealing the Savage Roar and managing to catch both Matu and the bear with it. But Mask of Madness gives, and Phase Boots obviously, you just have so much movement speed. You get on top of Rubik again, kill was enough. This build from Matu, did you check it? So it's quite ordinary, everyone is doing it. The Mask of Madness into Desolator. That's what allows you to pick Lone Druid and Morphling, because you're just so active early on as Lone Druid. You're not AFK for 20 minutes waiting your Radiance. You're just constantly creating pressure.
Yeah, it's why I feel Necro has become such a popular item, especially for like even position 3 Tusk, whoever now. It's small incremental build-up. You don't have to wait for that 2,000 gold for Blink Dagger or the 3.8k for Radiance, the Relic into Radiance. It is like, I'm going to buy a little bit of Sage's Mask, I'm going to buy a little bit of this belt, I'm going to buy a recipe, and then we've got an item, and it's just a high-impact item.
And more to your point, Sage's Mask was the best possible way to get mana in the last few patches. It was...
Yeah.
Always
Who it is.
fine.
That's exactly who it is, or who it was.
Okay,
Tombstone left.
So usually, if he feeds, you know, if this happens, it's fine, but he needs to be careful this game. He is playing versus a Legion Commander, right? So all these deaths might bite him in the ass later on, as Legion Commander has 20 dual damage already.